All right, good afternoon. Welcome to MazzaMedia. I am Mark, and it is Saturday, March 21st. It actually turns out spring began yesterday, as it turns out. So spring began yesterday at like 10:46. So we're already in springtime. Winter's officially over. It's just a matter now if it actually snows anymore or not. So we'll see how that goes. Just checking the screen here, see how this looks. I want to make sure the camera's makes me look like I'm looking at you guys and not looking someplace else. Hopefully that works out better. But yes, we are live here. It is Saturday. I'm ready to go, ready to rock and roll. As you know, it's a big week ahead. Lauren of Common Sense Investigator had her fundraiser yesterday, and it was a doozy. It was an absolute doozy. It was absolutely fantastic. $2,500 raised for Kelsey Fitzsimmons on her GiveSendGo. Today, we're going to be pushing the popcorn store more than the GiveSendGo. So today, the popcorn store link is in the description. And is MJ here? MJ with us yet? Yeah, MJ is here. MJ, we have the Twitter link from yesterday. We can just use that to, if you guys want to drop that in the description, we can just use that again today for that. What I'll do is I'll actually drop that link one more time and get that here. Here it is. Let's get that now. Let's get it, Barrett. Here, I need that. And where am I? Where's my picture? Yeah, I'll get it for you right here, MJ, so you're good to go. All right, there you go. So that Twitter link will take you there. So if you can get it one of two ways, the popcorn store. You can go through the description of the video, or you can go off that Twitter link. You can go to my Twitter page. And excellent. Well, thank you so much for that, Shane. We do appreciate that. Fantastic, sir. I'm guessing that was last night during last night's show because we did see a $500 donation comment. If that was you, thank you so much. But again, thank you regardless for making a donation to Kelsey and helping her out. That I don't know. Let me double check actually. Now I'm curious. Does this store ship in? It looks like it changes to state, so you have to select your state. No. Yeah, it doesn't ship internationally. I would say this: if you're unable to get it shipped to your country, the only way to donate would be the GiveSendGo. That would work. That would be fine. You can go that way, but it wouldn't. You wouldn't get popcorn or anything, but you can still make a donation to Kelsey. You know what I mean? Through that. So I actually have not bought anything to the popcorn store. I just donate my money through GiveSendGo. The reason why is I'm on a keto diet. And I've been on that since February 17th. And I can't have carbs and sugar right now because I ate so much junk between October and the Super Bowl that I don't want to have popcorn. I don't want to have any candies, cookies, ice creams, cakes, because once I do, I'm going to have to struggle to get back on that diet. So I got my donations are going to the GiveSendGo. So that's how I'm doing it. I'm like, I'll just send it to the GiveSendGo. And that's how I've been doing it this year or so. But I just, unfortunate. I'd like to buy some of the stuff, but at the same time, my diet and everything is what I'm prioritizing for myself right now. But that doesn't mean I can't give. It doesn't mean I can't donate to her GiveSendGo, which is, you have different options. You have different ways you can donate to her. And that's what's great about this. So if you're someone that can't have, sugar, carbs right now, for example, maybe you're diabetic, you can just give to the GiveSendGo. You can still give to Kelsey. But if you're someone that likes to give, but also, get something too, if it's fun for you to say, hey, I'd like to give, but get popcorn and cookies, that's great. So that's the way to go. So whatever works best for you. And, ultimately, as long as you're giving, that's fantastic. If you're able to give it, if you're not able to give financially, if you're able to spread awareness, raise the word, do all that, it's good to go. Yeah, keto is awesome. Yeah, it's good. So I've had 3 eggs and a yogurt today so far. It's a lot of salad. It's a lot of I take olive salad, put that in my regular salad. I actually, after the show, I didn't have my wings because it was so after Lauren's show last night. I didn't actually have wings last night. I ended up making 2 eggs and some bacon late last night. So it's just something to eat, just some protein, some low carbs, low sugar. Like I said, a lot of salad in my diet right now. So it's I think it was a year or two ago, the popcorn sales kept coming and I kept buying it. I'm like, this is just throwing me off. This keto, you just have to be on a good diet. You can't break it. And once you break it, it's like you got to go wild, but it takes a while to get back on it. So it's like, once I'm there, I want to maintain regulation. So yeah, that's why wings, I eat them so much. People are like, why do you love wings so much? Because wings are keto, just as long as they're not breaded. Like you can go to Domino's and get chicken wings, and they're not breaded, so they're basically within that keto diet, which is awesome. But you know, it doesn't mean everybody else is on keto right now. It doesn't mean everybody else can't, you know, go to that popcorn store. So yes, everything in that store, including lemon pound cake. We recently learned that lemon pound cake is available in that store. So what better way to help Kelsey, but also kind of take part in the Afro Man trend by getting some lemon pound cake, which is awesome. So we're going to go through that whole store. I'm going to tell you some of the things I've bought in the past and all that, and walk you through the store later today. I'm hoping, let's see, what time did we start? About 6 minutes ago. We'll probably go till 3:30 today. And then that will be about a 2-hour show, I'm thinking. So that should be good. You bought your 11 pound cake the other day, Ernie. Lemon pound cake, pound cake. That story has been a riot. That has been the funniest story. The fact that those sheriff's office or whatever were so upset about it. Yeah, you know what, too, is once Easter shows up, I'm breaking the diet for Easter. That's my goal right now, is not to break the diet till Easter. That's the goal. We'll see if we can get there. It's going to be tough, but we'll see. Lemon pound cake, pound cake. Yeah, lemon pound cake. With a lemon emoji, a pound emoji, and a cake emoji. No, the suit's awesome. The suit's fantastic. I love it. That has been absolutely hilarious. But yes, it's, yeah, I can make it. Easter's not too far. I think Easter's actually coming up earlier in April this year. I don't like when Easter is in March. I hate when Easter is in March. I hate it. I feel robbed. I don't like going through April without Easter. There was one year, like, it was like 2008 or something. It was like mid-March. I'm like, this is ridiculous. You know, I want it to be like more springtime. I don't want it in March. I hate when it's in March. Easter's one of those holidays that it just bounces around every year. You never know when it's going to be. Like with Thanksgiving, it's the 4th week in November. With Christmas, it's the 25th. Easter's just like, well, it's already coming up on the 5th. Okay, so it's the 5th. Yeah, Easter should be in April month. Excuse me. Easter should be in the month of April, or April should be an Easter month. That's the way it should be. You know, none of this. March is for St. Patrick's Day. April's for Easter. May is for Memorial Day. June is for the beach. You know, July is for also the beach, but hot dogs and all that. But yes, it's just how I look at it. Yeah. So 2 weeks from now, so I got 2 weeks to go. Maybe what I could do is buy from the store and then wait 2 weeks and just have it that weekend. But the thing is, if I buy it now, I might eat it. I might eat it before 2 weeks. So we'll see. We'll see what we do. But we'll be talking about the popcorn store later today. We'll be going through that, reviewing that, going through what's in the store. But like I said, I'm a GiveSendGoer right now. I've been donating to the GiveSendGo. Was happy to contribute to my last fundraiser as well. That's always been my little tactic. It's like when I donate, I always do it during my show. That's a fundraiser. So that way it counts to the fundraiser total. It's like a little hack, but it's you know, I'm like, why not? I'm like, I want mine to count towards the fundraiser too. So I figure it's like when you're running for office and you can still vote for yourself when you're running for office. So it's the same thing with the fundraiser. You can still donate too, even though you're hosting, you know what I mean? So like it all works for me. So the other Mary B, not that Mary B, the other Mary B is here. Sarah B Creative is here. Jen O is here, one of the mods. Romney is here. And the Amazon wish list is in the description of this video as well. In fact, all the links are there. The Facebook group, the website, Amazon wish list. Mazza, can you tell us how long it usually takes to get what order from the popcorn site? I usually got mine in a week. Usually in a week. That's about it. It's not too far out. Not too far out. And absolutely. So yes, Kate is in the house. What's going on, Kate? Hope you're doing good. It's been a long time. Hope you're doing awesome. It's warm weather months now, so it's no longer winter. So we're all happy. So all right, it's about 10 minutes into the show. Let's get busy with some talking here. This is going to be a show where we're just going to go. Like I have no formal template for today's show other than to talk about the popcorn store later on. But today is just going to basically be a sit down talk about things, interact with the chat, obviously, throughout today's show. And we'll take it as we go. That's it. Thank you so much, Kate. I appreciate that. Yeah, it'll be organic today. Today's seltzer water. Usually I go with Polar, but I've been getting Canada Dry as well lately. Today's is Canada Dry pomegranate cherry, which I do recommend. This has been fantastic. I have I have 2 cans here. One that's open, one that's ready for backup, just in case I run out of seltzer water, because you cannot run out of seltzer water during a live show. You can't allow that to happen. Alice in Wonderland is here. Alice in Wonderland actually starts the popcorn stores. And today, we're going to be talking about the popcorn store a lot. In fact, we're going to prioritize the popcorn store today just to help this store hit its goal. This store is now $1,029 away, and hopefully we can drive that down today. So if anybody's able to make a purchase, that would help Allison hit her goal. The popcorn store is open till Monday around 8 p.m. at night, is the belief. And yeah, I think this is a newer flavor. I never saw it before either. I just saw pomegranate and cherry and said, oh my goodness, I need to try this. I don't drink soda. I stopped drinking soda in 2014. And I just realized that, diabetes runs in the family. For at least some people. So I'm like, yeah, I just quit soda. And I have tried Waterloo before. I don't drink it often, but I have drinking it before, and it was good. I typically buy from Polar because Polar is more of a local-based Massachusetts production company. I also like their seltzer water a lot, and I like to kind of help the lower-end companies a lot more. So I like to help. Like I always buy like Wachusett potato chips. I don't eat potato chips much often anymore, obviously, but like Wachusett potato chips, just local stuff. I prefer to buy just to help out the smaller end businesses. Like Schweppes I like, Canada Dry I like, but I don't buy them all the time. I just like to again help out the smaller. I'm one of those people, like I like to help the smaller businesses and all that. So it's kind of always been the way I've been. Even in the video store days, I'd go to the local video store over Blockbuster. That's for sure. The local pizza shop over the chain pizza shop. Those are my kind of places. It's the way I am. And that's good. I like to help small businesses. Yeah. Soda's tough. Well, yeah, Cape Cod chips are world class. Cape Cod chips are among the best potato chips on the face of this earth. Wachusett, Cape Cod are absolutely 2 of the best. Cape Cod chips I can go through no problem at all. There's just no question about it. Yeah, Friday night Blockbusters. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Blockbuster was a good place back in the day, and that just kind of disappeared. Then you kind of knew the video store industry was going to go down about a year or 2 before it did. It was starting to kind of steadily decline by around 05, 06, and then by 08, 09, 2008, 2009, it was all gone, all she wrote. And then Netflix was starting off as just a mail it out to you delivery service. And plus the thing that killed video stores too before streaming was that you go to Walmart or Target and you'd find like a movie you love for $5. You're like, well, why am I going to rent the movie for $3 or $4 when I can buy it for $4 or $5 or $6, and keep it? You know what I mean? So that's why everyone started to buy DVDs all the time. And then Blu-rays came out, and then, absolutely, it was just an industry that was going under. I missed it for a while. I missed it for a couple of years, but then it's bygone. It's a bygone era now. A lot of stuff's a bygone era now, especially in the last 15 years. That's for sure. But yeah, it's I could sell a raid to a bug and salt to a slug. Absolutely, I guess so. Thank you for that compliment. Be kind. Rewind. Yeah, I remember the days where the local video store would have 1 copy of a new release. And when I was a kid, I was hyped up to the moon for Ninja Turtles 2 to come out. When Ninja Turtles 2 came out, I was like, I don't know, an elementary kid, I think, at the time. And I was going nuts because I wanted to see this movie. And every video store in the area in the early 90s had like 1 copy of a new release. So you had an entire town, right? And they have 1 copy of a new release. It wasn't like Blockbuster in later years where they'd have like 10 to 20 copies of a new release, then sell them off to everybody. No, you go to your local video store and only 7 people could see it in the first 7 days. Because it was everything was a 1-day release. So we somehow, I don't know how my mom pulled it off, but somehow we got it. Somebody had rented it, but we got the copy back that day or something, and I got to see it that night. I was just so pumped up. I was so hyped for that movie when I was little. Loved the Ninja Turtles, loved the Ghostbusters, loved Batman. Those are some of my absolute favorite movies as a kid, definitely. So those are some stories about the old, as Ren and Stimpy used to say, memories. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about Kelsey today. As I've said, we're gonna hype up the popcorn store as much as we can today. Help out Kelsey with that, and help Allison, who's opened up that store. The store so far hasn't sold anything, but there's still time. And Ren and Stimpy was a classic. Stimpy, you idiot! Yeah, that was a funny show that got really bizarre as time went on. I'm like, why am I watching this? I used to watch Doug a lot. My sisters love Rugrats quite a bit. Our Real Monsters, Hey Arnold. I was kind of starting to get out of those cartoons by then, but a lot of great shows on Nickelodeon. Oh, for sure. A lot of great shows, a lot of funny shows. Double Dare. Salute Your Shorts was a great show. Guts was a great show. A lot of fun shows back then, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we got lemon pound cake. Yeah, we're going to be selling lemon pound cake today for sure. Lemon pound cake, we're going to be hyping in honor of Afro Man and to help out Kelsey Fitzsimmons. Lemon pound cake for everybody. Yeah, that's what I'm saying right now. So yeah, absolutely. So, all right. So the week in review, let's talk about, Salute Your Shorts was awesome. I'm going to get so sidetracked. I'm going to talk about this stuff forever. Every time I see a new comment, I'm like, yes, I got to comment on that. Yeah, Pete and Pete. Exactly. I'm going to get so sidetracked. We're going to be here. Mazza spends an hour of his show talking about Nickelodeon and video rentals. It's like, oh, geez, come on, stay focused, Mazza. Stay focused. Yeah, lemon pound cake is one of that's the most promoted item today in the Kelsey Fitzsimmons popcorn store is the lemon pound cake. And if you guys are making a purchase in the popcorn store today, please let us know. Yeah, my mod here, Sarah B. Creative with the Kill Bill sword, is telling me to stay focused. She's like, keep it together, man. All right. Absolutely. So good afternoon to everybody that's joining us. And yes, 80s and 90s was great. One more thing. Chuck Norris passed away, and Chuck Norris was a big hero of mine, was one of my childhood movie heroes, just somebody I absolutely adored. Speaking of the video store era, my dad would always rent action movies when I was a kid. And it was very frequent that he would rent a Chuck Norris movie in the late 80s and early 90s. So I used to watch a Chuck Norris movie all the time. He's one of my absolutely favorite actors of all time. I don't care how people think of him as an actor. I always loved the guy. He's up there with Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bruce Willis, Wesley Snipes, Steven Seagal, Dolph Lundgren, all the great action stars, Patrick Swayze, all the great action stars of that era. And for me, he was somebody growing up in the 80s and 90s like I did, where, I watched those movies and took them very seriously when I was a kid. I didn't really realize how sometimes cheesy some of those movies could be, but they're awesome. They were fun. Sidekicks. Yeah, Silent Rage. Silent Rage was funny because the biker goes in the bar and calls Chuck Norris, Officer Candace, come on, Officer Candace. And that was funny. That was really, really funny, that scene. Then Chuck Norris just beats the guy up to bits. Sidekicks was amazing. Jonathan Brandis is no longer with us, the kid in that movie. And that was a great movie as a kid because a lot of us that looked up to Chuck, always were like, when you did martial arts as a kid, or watch martial arts movies, your dream was to do martial arts with Chuck Norris or Bruce Lee or Jean-Claude Van Damme or Steven Seagal. And that movie was all about this kid that was a major Chuck fan and actually got to meet Chuck in the movie and compete on the same team as Chuck. And it was a classic. Lone Wolf McQuade was a favorite of mine. Code of Silence, where he was a cop in Chicago. That was a great one. The Delta Force was an unbelievable hostage rescue movie, actually partially based on a true story. It was partial truth, partial fiction. Invasion USA, where Chuck Norris saved the United States. Who could forget when enemy invaders tried to take over the United States in the mid-'80s, and Chuck Norris, just saved the world. Chuck Norris saved the world. That could have been, the United States could have ceased to exist. We wouldn't be celebrating our 250th anniversary of the United States right now if the enemy forces in the movie Invasion USA succeeded. It was up to Chuck Norris to save the day, and he got it done, which was great. Way of the Dragon, where he fights Bruce Lee, one of the greatest fight scenes ever. I remember my dad telling me when I was a kid, he's like, "That's Chuck Norris." I'm like, "That's not Chuck Norris. He doesn't have a beard or mustache." He's like, "Because he doesn't have a beard or mustache." I'm like, "Okay, I guess you're right." But yeah, Chuck Norris fighting Bruce Lee in Way of the Dragon, often known in the United States as Return of the Dragon. That was a fantastic movie. Missing in Action movies were pretty solid. Wasn't the biggest fan of them, but those were good. What else did he do? So a whole bunch of other movies. Force Vengeance. Most people don't talk about Force Vengeance. That was a really good movie as well. And then one of his final movies was The Expendables 2, where he joined Bruce Willis, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Dolph Lundgren, Stallone, Schwarzenegger, in a superstar movie, The Expendables 2, which in my opinion was the best Expendables movie. The first one's also right up there, obviously. But that was really good. Really, really good stuff. That's awesome. Your husband was a body double for Chuck Norris. That's awesome. And of course, who could forget Walker, Texas Ranger? That was a great show. I used to watch it all the time. Every week, I'd probably watch that show, watch the syndicated episodes, watch those all the time. Obviously cheesy, but fun. They were fun shows. They were kind of their Yellowstone or Tulsa King or Landman of their day. Those CBS broadcast, Paramount broadcast type shows. And that was a lot of fun. Chuck really had a big presence on television, and he was awesome in his, really in his role as a Texas Ranger fit him perfectly, and loved that show a lot. Lone Wolf McQuaid, obviously. Lone Wolf McQuaid is probably one of my top favorites. I did not see your video yet. Message me on X. I'll take a look. I haven't seen it. Yes, correct. Chun Kook Do, obviously Tang Soo Do, Taekwondo were in his background, but yes, he did invent his own fighting system, and he was a grandmaster. This guy was a world champion in martial arts. He was a legitimate martial artist. He was a competitive martial artist that had the accolades, the world championships. This guy was very good. One of the greats, in martial arts. Thank you, Law Girls. Yes, he was one of the absolute greats, and he was a patriotic American, cared about his country, obviously. Again, he saved the United States in Invasion USA, which was fantastic. So we thank him for his duty. And actually served in the U.S. Air Force. Most people don't realize he served the United States Air Force, served our country as well. We thank him for his service to our country and the Air Force, which is fantastic. Just great that this guy had a great life. He had a great life. He did. He had a great martial arts life. He had a great military life. He had a great television life. He had a great personal life as well. Had a family. His son, Eric Norris, was actually one of the Universal Soldiers with Jean-Claude Van Damme in the original Universal Soldier movie. He was one of those soldiers. You can look for him, but he's in it. And, that's great. No kidding. Well, we got a lot of people that know the stuntman here. Your realtor was Arnold Schwarzenegger's stuntman. He lives in a super small town on Vancouver Island now. That's awesome. The thing about Chuck, I follow Chuck. I followed him on social media for many, many years. I follow all my favorite action stars from when I grew up, obviously, on social media. I'll say this. I did make a comment to a few people recently that I felt like him dying I think it was anywhere between the last 5 weeks, I think. The last 1 to 3 months, I made a comment. I go, I wouldn't be shocked if Chuck Norris passed away soon because he's looking really old. It might have even been a few weeks ago I said this. Because one thing I noticed about him was he seemed to age quite a bit in the last year. And it was like he was getting progressively older every year he lived. But most recently, when he posted a video, I said, my goodness, it looks like he's aged almost like the equivalent of like 3 to 5 years in about the past year. And that was one of the observations I made. And that can often be possibly because he was sick. And he obviously went on that trip to Hawaii. And, for all we know, the flight could have triggered that. He could have maybe gotten sick on that flight. Being older, potentially being sick, could have been like a big hurrah for the family. I don't know if he had cancer, but, you could tell physically he looked older and he didn't look well. The last time I had seen him on video, something was definitely, I don't know what he had or didn't have, But you could tell that he was, he just looked different to me. He looked different to me, and I was kind of like, whoa, he looks a lot different. He looked more like he aged. And someone said heart issues can age you rapidly. Now, to that point, sometimes heart issues can bring about breathing issues as well, and that can be impacted by flights, I'm guessing. The altitude change, I don't know how often he was flying. I don't know, maybe that could have triggered it by the time I don't know. I'm only speculating, but anything like that could have possibly contributed. That was one of my concerns when it happened. I said maybe maybe he was already kind of sick. Maybe he was already having some issues, maybe issues they didn't know about. And maybe that flight or that trip could have triggered, being in the air, probably I presume Texas to Hawaii, could have possibly triggered, that emergency that was being reported, which can be very common. There's a lot of people that go on planes and a plane needs to take an emergency landing because someone has a health related issue on that plane. That's not uncommon at all. So anything like that could be in play. I was upset, obviously, about it. I'm not one to shed tears, but I do get a little somber. I tend to reflect. Hulk Hogan was someone that was a childhood hero of mine that passed away recently, and I look at what's happened to Bruce Willis physically. He's another guy I looked up to a lot as a kid, teenager, obviously. And then Schwarzenegger and Stallone, they're getting up there. Clint Eastwood, is up there. So those are all people that are eventually, like all of us are all eventually going to pass away tragically. But it's tough to see. But that's why we all have to live our lives to the best of our ability. And just enjoy our lives as much as we can. Chuck lived a great life. He lived a great life. He had a very full life, obviously. A lot of kids. He even had a much younger son as well. I think that would probably be under 20 years old. He did the workout videos with Christy Brinkley. He used to say Michael J. Fox is another one. Yes. Great point. He used to do the workout videos with the son recently and the workout videos with Christy Brinkley all the time. So yes, he lived a very, very full life, and we'll miss him. We'll definitely miss him. Definitely appreciate it. I used to have a Chuck Norris joke shirt as well, but that shirt faded out over time, so it had to be retired. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, so thank you so much. All right, so we'll get to the popcorn store again later in the show. We'll do the walkthrough, and let's just see if any purchases have been made yet. Yes, we got it down to $9.62. Let me just make a quick note that we started at 1,029, and let's drive the popcorn sale purchases today during the show. So let me just make a note of this. So it's now down to 926. All right, so we need 1,029. Okay, as of show start. All right, let's do this. Let me put a little post online too about this. Let's just see if we can try to get this promoted here on X as well. The popcorn store was at $1,029 at the start of my live show. How far can we drive it down today? Link below. Link below. All right, there we go. And then one more thing. I gotta write justice for Joe. I always get a hash. I'm a hashtagger. And I don't apologize, folks. He's a hashtagger. He's got a hashtag right now. Justice for Kelsey Fitzsimmons. All right, there we go. All right, popcorn store was at 1,029 at the start of my live show. How far can we drive it down today? I always proofread. You got to proofread when you post. You don't want to have typos all over your page. That's one thing you always have to mind. All right, so good. All right, so we got that. So 962 remaining. That's great. It's under the $1,000 threshold now. That's awesome. So that will be good. Now we have until Monday. So we got until Monday to hit that goal. So we can do this here. A couple purchases, a couple $50 purchases. I mean, if 20 people made roughly a $50 purchase, we're pretty much there. So it's realistic right now. It's just about getting this in the hands. You never forgot, did you? Yeah, the cat is banned from the room. You never forgot, Ernie. The cat is banned from the room. He knows that he can't be in here because the cat's a talker. The cat is a talker, and every time I talk, he talks. And he knows he can't. When I do a show, I can't hear him chiming in the background unless he wants to co-host. Unless he was just trying to fundraise, I don't know. But yeah, the cat's banished from the room. he always gives me that look. He's always like, "You're doing a show, aren't you?" Like he looks at me, he sees me setting up, and he's like, he always comes in before the show, walks the entire room, surveys the entire setup, and I'm like, "All right, you know the rules. I'll see you later." He's always well fed. He's always got plenty of water. We always have plenty of hangout time. So the cat does. They want the cat cameo. They want the cat cameo. Do we want the cat cameo? Does everybody want the cat cameo? One in the chat if you want the cat cameo. All right, let's see here. We're going to get the cat cameo. All right, Sarah B. Creative says yes. They're petitioning for the cat. All right, everybody's saying sure. All right, I'll go get him. Stand by. Getting the cat. All right, here we go. Stand by. Okay, stand by. We'll get the cat. All right. They want you on camera, so here we go. All right, there you are. They've asked for you. There he is. You just ate, didn't you? How do you feel? You got to look at the camera. You got to look at the camera. Oh, he doesn't. He's like kind of like, what's going on right now? What's going on? Oh, the camera's kind of there. He is. There he is. How you doing today? They asked for you. You're on YouTube right now. Can you believe it? You're now a YouTube sensation, perhaps. Maybe you're going to be a big hit. Love you. You're somber today. He's not really active right now. He's quiet. He's very quiet today. His name is, there we go. He's squirming around. There he is. There he is. Yeah, he's cute. He's a cutie. Yeah, we love you, don't we? Love you. His name is Mufasa. He's named after the Lion King's dad. Okay, you want to go? All right, I'll let you go. All right, stand by. All right. What's the matter? All right. Okay. All right, there he is. So yeah, he's just he's a little bit more somber. He kind of wants to have his alone time, I guess. I kind of went to go grab him. He's like, wait a second, I thought you were doing a show. I could see that look on his face. I'm like, yeah, I'm picking you up. They want you. Yeah, Mufasa. Yeah, he is Mufasa. Yeah, he's good. He's a good guy. He's a good cat. Yeah. Because you're not feeling good, feel better, man. That's that time of year. You know what I mean? Springtime's never fun. Yeah, he's a great cat. Love him. He's a couple years old now. How old is he now? Almost 4. He's almost 4 years old. Yeah. He's almost 4 years old. So he's actually a kill shelter rescue from North Carolina or South Carolina. So he was, down there. They rescue a lot of cats, ship them up north. Popcorn store is now down to $8.41 right now. So yeah, he was one of those cats where they keep him in the shelter. They try to get him a home. And if they don't get a home, I guess they kill him. I don't know how it works down there, but he was one of the cats that was purchased by a buyer up north in Massachusetts. And then this network of people, they're connected to PetSmart, and they buy up cats, I guess dogs. They fly all of them up here, and then they actually Makasi got a cat recently. So they fly all they find these cats or whatever, they put them on a plane, they send them to PetSmart, and then there's like a person that whoever it was that says these pets are for sale. Then you got to go online and get them all signed up for and all that. Then you pick them up. So that was the kind of cat he was. So it's crazy, but I guess they're overpopulated down there. Down south compared to up north. That's my understanding of what I was told, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, it was just a great cat to get, and a cat I love dearly, obviously. So yeah, he's a good cat. He's a little somber today. He's not very active right now. Even when he's on camera, he's just kind of like, so yeah, absolutely. Up McCossy's got his cat with him. Yeah, I saw McCossy's cat with him. Cats are great. Cats are great to have. Dogs are great, obviously, too. No question about it. Dogs and cats, two of the best animals you'll ever see. Looks like Kelsey's GiveSendGo's got a few donations too here, which is great news. So that's awesome. And then we got no less than 2 purchases on the popcorn store. So it's down to $8.41. I always get like a little fur on me when I get the cat. So it's like afterwards, I'm like, it's like little speckles of fur that you can't see, but you can feel it. You're like, oh my goodness. All right. So let's talk about the thank you guys for suggesting the cat. I made a quick appearance today, obviously. Great cat. Love him. So yeah, this is going to be a huge week. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be there or not this week. So I am working on that right now. I'm working on that right now. And then I'll know next week exactly what the plan is. So I have, I'm just waiting for some things to fall through here. So I'll have a better idea. And I'm probably not going to tell anybody when I'm going to be there. And I'm just going to do one of those like, oh my God, Maz is here type thing. I think I might go for the, oh my God, Maz is here and he didn't tell us. I think I might be going for that approach, where I don't tell anybody at all and then just show up. It's like, could I do that? Should I do that? I don't know. But people were already like leaking. I had people messaging me like, Maz, I heard you're going to be there. I'm like, oh, people are talking out there. People are talking. But I will say I will not be there Monday. That's the one thing I can tell you. I will not be there Monday. That's for sure. But at some point I am hoping to be there. And we'll see. We'll see. But I will tell you, I will not be there Monday at all. That's for sure. So it won't happen on Monday. But I'd love to be there. And I'm trying to be there, and I'm really kind of, I'm still very, I still feel a lot of pain in myself that I wasn't there for Karen Reed's verdict. That still bothers me a bit. I was there for the final day of trial and jury deliberation, the first trial, but I was not there for the second. And that still kind of eats at me a little bit. Obviously, circumstances prohibited me from being there. But I had to do what I had to do. And I'm thankful I did what I needed to do, with my obligations that I have, obviously. But unfortunately, you have to put, there's other things that come up you have to tend to that are your daily tasks. So I did that, and that's all. But yeah, it was just very tough to see everybody celebrating, and not being a part of that. But we'll see. Maybe I'll get to be out there when Kelsey walks out the door, a free woman this week. We'll see. We don't know. We'll see how the week goes, but we'll see. You just never know with these things. But there'll be no jury deliberation, obviously, which is what I want to talk about right now. Is the no jury in this trial. So I want to ask everybody now, why don't we do this? Why don't we put a poll up? And let's just say, let's do bencher. And let's just see what everybody thinks. So, okay. Start a poll. You wanted a bench trial or jury trial? All right, so we're going to put a poll up. You wanted a bench trial or you wanted a jury trial? What did you want for this trial? One thing I like about the bench trial is you don't have to wait for jury selection, which would have really pushed this thing out a lot further. This would have pushed this out. And it's already going strong in the direction of bench right now, which is my vote as well. I can't vote in the poll I start, but my vote is for bench as well. And 50% are saying we're over 80% with 50 votes in right now. Over 50 votes in and over 80% right now. Now closing in on 60 votes, and we're over 80. And we're now at 83% over 60 votes. That's incredible. So that tells you a lot right there. Make sure I got no fur on me. Okay. There we go. So the votes are coming in strong for bench. What I like about a bench trial, yeah, it goes faster without a jury. There's less delay. You don't have to do the selection. You don't have to wait for them to deliberate. You don't have to wait for the judge, obviously, to do it, make his decision, make his ruling. And I agree with this judge. This is, it's not like if this was Kathleen McCarthy Naaman, there's no way in hell, Bradel would serve up Kelsey's fate in Kathleen McCarthy Naaman's hands. There's just no chance. That's not going to happen. If this was Beverly Cannoni in the Karen Reed trial, you're not going to see Alan Jackson say, you know what, Your Honor, Emperor Cannoni, we've loved you so much, Judge Beverly Cannoni, that we'd like to offer up Karen Reed's fate to you, by having Karen Reed go up there and renounce the fact that she doesn't want a jury trial and that Karen Reed would prefer to have her fate in your hands, Judge Beverly Cannoni. No, that's not going to happen. There's no way in hell that defense is ever going to leave that in her hands. It's the same thing of Judge Kathleen McCarthy Naaman. Kathleen McCarthy Naaman was wheeling and dealing behind the scenes, talking to, corrections officer Jones, January, about all of this. And it's like, they would have never had this option on the table to be like, it's like McCarthy Naaman, do you want poking him with a stick? Come on, Bradel, would you like to do a bench trial? You can trust me. No, I do not trust you at all. Okay. No. But let's see the votes. Over 100 votes. We're holding at 83% right now. 110 votes, and 83% hold on bench trial right now. That's a very strong number right there, to say the least. 83% saying bench trial would be their preferred option. That's my vote as well, definitely. I don't have memberships. I tried to set it up one time, and I couldn't figure out how to do it. And I will say this, I don't do enough shows to the point where I would do members only shows. So I just don't want to have people buying memberships, and I'm never going to do a membership only show. And I don't have what I would say a show set up in a manner that I would feel would be beneficial to the people that bought memberships. I think basically it would just be like, you'd just be giving me money and I wouldn't do anything that would help you guys out. I wouldn't give you your membership bang for your buck. I don't feel like my show program would be beneficial to anybody that was a member. You know what I mean? So it's like, I figure if you're going to sign up for a $4 membership, you might as well just send a super chat. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel. So that's why I don't do the memberships, because I don't have, if I was someone that did a show on a consistent basis, say like I did like 5 or 6 shows a week, then I would say, okay, yeah, maybe I can do like a 1 members only show per week. You know what I mean? But because of the fact that I'm only doing like 1 or 2 shows tops, it's just no, for me, I just don't see the point for myself and asking people to pay money for a membership show that I'm not going to deliver on. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of my ideology. I always fail at grifting. Exactly. I always fail at grifting. Once again, Mazza has failed at grifting. I am so sorry. That's why I'm so sorry about that. Yes. But, well, I don't do enough shows, I don't think, and that's what I do. Like I said, if I did like 5 or 6 shows a week, I could be like, okay, maybe one of those shows could be a membership show. But I don't, like I said, I don't want to have people signing up for memberships. And then it's like, sign up for a $4 membership, and then there's no membership benefits or no membership shows. It's like, it's just, that's not what I wish to do. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really know what the membership benefits are besides doing member only shows. But like I said, if you do enough shows a week where you can have a members only show, like, it's perfect. It's like, that's great. Like, okay, we do a certain amount of shows. Friday nights are members only. Perfect. It makes sense. Okay, well, there we go. Holly Mack, thank you so much from Canada. Well, no membership. Here you go with the super chat. Thank you so much. Do appreciate that. Great, Holly Mack. Greatly. Thank you for that courtesy today. Appreciate that very much. Thank you. And the popcorn store, we're going to do a check on that now too. Let's see what we got here. $7.97 remaining. It looks like another $40 to $50 purchase came in, and I think we can bring this home with a series of $40 to $50 purchases, and that will be great. So someone says, here's the no memberships, $9.99. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I like this dog too. Wow. What kind of breed of dog is that? That's a really nice dog. Wow. Well, he's powerful. He or she is powerful looking. I love the ears. I love the nose. Wow. Here's the no memberships. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And again, Jen's dog. Oh, Jen's dog, Jonah. Okay, there we go. Maybe if I had read the name, I would have known. But yes, Jen's dog, Jonah. Here's the no membership. Love. There we go. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that super chat as well. And all right. So yes, the popcorn store is starting to make its way down here. So that's great. The popcorn store started at $1,029 at the beginning of the show and is now at $797 remaining. And Allison's here with us today. She sets up the popcorn store. Me and her have coordinated each time. The first time she came to me, the second time I went to her because everybody else I was in Rat House's Media's chat recently, and they said, Mazza, we need the popcorn store back. I don't know if they had known I don't set it up, but they know I had promoted it. Black German Shepherd, perhaps? Yeah, let's see. He's a solid German Shepherd, Czechoslovakia, Czech, I guess that's how you say it. I think it's Czechoslovakia. Line, wow, Black German Shepherd. Yeah, you can see that's what I was thinking too, is he had a strong German Shepherd presence in him. And then there had to be some kind of mix in there for the fur coat. So I don't know much about German Shepherds besides the brown color code. Maybe they do come have black fur. I'm not sure. Absolutely. Czechoslovakian. Yeah, Czechoslovakian. Czech Republic now. Yeah. Yes, we're going to be talking about that in a little bit. But I'll say this for you. Cinnamon toast and strawberry shortcake are my two biggest recommendations. I also recommend butter caramel, and I also recommend ranch. Those are my top four. And so, yes, Allison had reached out to me for the first popcorn store. She said, I would like to get the popcorn store going. What did you use? Because for the Karen Reed community, Karen Reed supporters, we had a popcorn store. So I got in touch with her because there were two popcorn stores, but I wanted to make sure, I think Allison was concerned. I think, Allison, we talked about this. I think you might have been like I was. There was one of the popcorn stores that kind of shut and cut off the Karen Reed community, the supporters. So I think we had to make sure we didn't get the wrong popcorn store set up for Kelsey that would have potentially been shut down. So the popcorn store was the second store that was used for Karen Reed. This was a much better store. They never cut us off. And they also, they give you more popcorn for your purchase. And they also give you more options besides popcorn. The other Double Good popcorn, I think it was, they had only a few flavors. And their popcorn was only so much. But here, their popcorn prices are about the same amount, but you get more popcorn and you get more flavors, I think. And then you get cookies, you get, cakes. There's some seasonal products like flowers in there. So there's a lot of stuff that you can get for your options. So if you don't like popcorn, so what happened was the anti-Karen Reed people had emailed the original popcorn store. And they said, oh, this is for a woman that's a blah, blah, blah murderer. And so they just shut it down. So Nick Rocco had to go through another store was what happened. So this store was the Popcorn store. So that's what we're using for Kelsey is the same store that was the second store, the Popcorn. So that's what happened. And so me and Allison coordinated. I made sure Allison had the correct store. Allison got that set up. This is Allison here. And Allison got that set up. And then Allison did great. She hit her $5,000 goal, which we're trying to get her to today or by Monday. And then additionally, yeah, it was ridiculous, Ernie. It was horrible. But I think Popcorn did great for us too. So Allison got that set up. She hit her goal. And then I didn't know if Allison or the Facebook group had a plan of the second one. I hadn't even thought about it, but I had chatted in Rat House Media one night, And people were messaging me, Mazza, we need the popcorn store. We need the popcorn store. So what I did was I reached out to Allison and said, hey, Allison, we're going to need to get the popcorn store back if you can do it. She said, sure, I'll do it. I'm like, great. And then Allison came up with a great idea, which was to hold the popcorn store because we had like a perfect amount of time before trial. Allison had the idea of getting it started for the 16th and concluding on the first day of trial. So this was, yes, the popcorn link is in the description. And then MJ, we can just throw them the X, my X page to link them to that because the link's so long. So it can either be in the description or it can only be in the on my X page link because the X link is shorter. So that's what ends up happening. So yes, let me scratch my back. Kelly Reed's here. Yeah, Kelly Reed won the popcorn challenges. Kelly had actually got in contact with me at some point about a popcorn store for Kelsey too. Thank you for the idea. Allison brought it home for us. Kelly Reed, yeah, she won her popcorn stores. We know what the naysayers say about Kelly Reed. You want me to spill the tea on Kelly Reed? Kelly Reed used her last name to win. I was kidding, Kelly. I love you, Kelly. You're the best. We love Kelly. Great cousin of Karen, of course, is with us today. Kelly Reed has stood by her cousin as much as any cousin has ever stood by their cousin in the history of the world. She is the cousin of the year in 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025. And you know what? Kelly Reed can also be the cousin of the year for 2026 as well. We love Kelly Reed to death. She is fantastic. And she's a fighter. She's a tough woman, which is what you see in the Reed family. Tough people, fighting people. And the shout outs are here for Kelly. And if anybody knows anything about popcorn, it's Kelly Reed. And she's in the house. And this is Allison, who does the popcorn store for Kelsey. Kelly. So yeah, she says, hi everyone, love you, Mazza, love you all. The popcorn is amazing. Law Girl says Kelly Reed is a real one. TC May Lens says we love Kelly Reed. Are you saying it was rigged? Kelly is amazing. No, I was teasing. I got to tease. That was one of the great things about the popcorn stores is the way everyone kind of playfully trolled everybody. So we have to playfully troll everybody as well. So love to playfully troll everybody. Kelly, I love to death. Kelly Reed's a fantastic woman and just a very friendly, warm person to me as well. Just a reflection of how the Reeds felt about all of us, caring and valuing our care for their family. And we absolutely appreciate Kelly, who got those popcorn stores going. They used to do promotional videos, which was funny. And the competitions were always a lot of fun as well. Definitely. So definitely great because these are things from Karen Reed's trial that we can now apply to Kelsey. In terms of a popcorn store, in terms of fundraisers, right? So a lot of what we're doing for Kelsey kind of had its origination or inception in the Karen Reed, supporting Karen Reed. So that's fantastic. So we're able to do that and apply it to this and, help her out as well. So we love Kelly Reed. Karen Reed's free. Karen Reed's in civil court, obviously. So there's going to be a lot of story there for the time to come, but we expect Karen to prevail there as well. So we're looking forward to that. So yes, it's going to be good. So let me grab a drink of water. Today's show is sponsored by Canada Dry. For the refreshing taste of seltzer water, try Canada Dry seltzer water, pomegranate cherry. It's like Wayne's World. For the refreshing taste, try Pepsi. Okay. But yeah, I got seltzer water rocking today with a free promotion today. And yeah, so good. So yeah, we got, Allison had the popcorn store going. And then some people in Rat House Media said, Mazza, we'd like to have the popcorn store back. So I messaged Allison, said, hey, let's do it. She says, great, let's do it. And she came up with a great game plan. We'll do it. She goes, we'll do it from the 16th to the 23rd, Monday to Monday, ending on the day of the trial, which is fantastic. And Kelsey's now $735 away from the popcorn store hitting. So let's get back to the bench trial. So 107, wait, let me update it here. 193 votes. When I go back to YouTube, I have to go to the YouTube page to see it. 193 votes have come in, and 87% of the voters have said bench trial. And then one of us said, misvoted. They said they actually wanted Canada Dry. Give them a call, please. Yeah, I'm only temporarily on Canada Dry. I'm mostly a polar person, McCausey. Yeah, so this fundraiser is good. But yes, a bench trial is what I prefer as well. I just think, because I talked about this, I think, last night. I might have talked about this recently. Is shipping on the popcorn store, I don't know about. I don't know that off the top of my head. I might bury it too. The bench trial is a good idea. Someone had said, I think it was in a chat, they were responding to me, and they said, it's okay, Robin, we'll honor your vote. We'll scale it by 1%. But no, you're good. So with Mazza, my attitude is I think that Kelsey's defense team is, shipping varies, Kelsey's defense team is afraid of a guilty verdict. Mazza. No, I'm just kidding. They didn't say it like that. They just wrote it in the chat. So I said, I like the conversation. Sometimes I like people that have a difference of opinion, but they do so in a gentlemanly or cordial way where it's like, I have a difference of opinion because. Not like a bleep you're wrong. She's afraid, she's guilty, and the jury would have declared that, and that's why they're cowering and going for a bench trial. No, I don't like those kind of people. Because I'm the kind of person that will have a sit-down debate with you. Like, I'll sit down, I'll talk with people, and I'll have a spirited conversation. I'll do it all day. I don't care. I'll talk about everything. I'll have a conversation with everybody. I don't care, right? It's a matter of we can disagree, but let's do it in a calm fashion. It's like, if you don't like Peeps on Easter, it doesn't make me an evil person for liking Peeps. I'm not going to apologize because I like Peeps and for the fact that I think people underrate Peeps and that I think Peeps is popular because a lot of people aren't admitting that they do buy Peeps in secret. People walk into supermarkets and CVS's all across this country in disguises just to get Peeps so nobody sees them buying Peeps. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, seriously though, it's like difference of opinions, fine. But what I ask is that you debate respectfully. That's what I want. Yeah, I can't even eat Peeps right now. So I can't get Peeps in my system until Easter. So I'm going to have to buy them the weekend before and have them on Easter. Then I got a limited time. Peace. Yeah, exactly. So yeah. Lemon pound cake is available in the store, ladies and gentlemen. I might actually have to buy that myself just to get it. I'll make it for Easter, perhaps. The store is down to $603, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got about $426 in sales during this stream. That is awesome. Great job. So yeah, everyone has their opinion. But see, Lisa says Peeps are nasty. But I'm not gonna say something negative to Lisa. And Lisa's not gonna say anything to me because she's talking about Peeps. She doesn't like them. We respect the difference of opinion. Brit Happens has bought the lemon pound cake. And lemon pound cake is that what we're promoting right now is the premier level of promotion today will be for lemon pound cake. You can honor Afro Man by helping Kelsey with the donation. So we're kind of we're going for lemon pound cake. Exactly, Lisa. It doesn't have to be we can have a difference of opinion on Peeps. It does, and that's why we use Peeps because it's supposed to be comedic. It's kind of to say people disagreeing about Peeps and getting into a hostile argument would be ridiculous because we're talking about candy. We're talking about candy shaped like birds or chickens or something that have marshmallow and yellow colored sugar on them. And how ridiculous would it be for two people to get in a spirited argument about candy? And that's my argument about a lot of things, like differences of opinions. And thank you, Lisa, for being a good contrary example. I appreciate that. Thank you for stepping forward and just being a good, good example of someone that has a difference of opinion, but it does so in a respectful manner, right? That's my argument is that if you just think something different It doesn't have to be an argument. You know what I'm saying? And there's people out there like, Kelsey's going to jail. Then they're afraid of a jury trial. It's like, no, because you have to think about things throughout. No problem at all. Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Lemon pound cake is getting promoted heavily. But that's the thing, too. Robin J debates candy with her husband all the time. I love it. That's awesome. Candy corn is flavored wax. Yeah, more than likely. More than likely. That's why I stay away from this stuff. That's why I'm on ketosis right now, at least till Easter. But yes, it's someone said, well, Kelsey Fitzsimmons' defense team is afraid of a jury trial because that means it's going to be a certain guilty verdict. Well, with a bench trial or a jury trial, there are common denominators. And I'll break it down for that person in a respectful manner. Ultimately, whether or not it is a jury trial or a bench trial. Thank you so much, Kelly Reed. Kelly Reed has ordered. Regardless of which, there is a guilty verdict or a not guilty verdict. So whether it goes to jury, it's guilty or not guilty. Whether it's the bench trial, it's guilty or not guilty. But there's a major difference. And that difference is a jury trial. And with that comes this, that a jury, and Kelly Reed's here. Fittingly, Kelly Reed just commented, because if Kelly Reed knows one thing about jury trials, like we all do, we know that a jury can be indecisive. It can be caught in a stalemate. It can result in a mistrial or a hung jury, whatever you want to say. And before you know it, another year goes by for another trial just to get a jury to say not guilty. But unfortunately for Karen, a bench trial was never an option because Emperor Canoni could not be trusted with her fate. The only way to get through it was through a jury trial. And if Emperor Kathleen McCarthy Naiman had been overseeing Kelsey's trial, Tim Bradle and Martha Coakley would never in their right mind ever let that be a bench trial, especially after what she did to Kelsey, sending her to jail like that. Okay? Absolutely not. Lemon pound cake, we're pushing lemon pound cake today. Today, we're just going to call it the lemon pound cake store. And Kelly Reed has made a purchase as well. And it's down to $424, ladies and gentlemen. Down to $424. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, just wow. And I spelled the popcorn store wrong on my page on Twitter as well. Let's correct that. Okay, there we go. Had a quick little typo there. All right, so it's down to $424. It started at $1,029. This is awesome. So this is great. So yeah, so I think with Bradle, Aiden Carney, Turtle Boy, was on Lauren, Common Sense Investigators fundraiser last night, which raised $2,500. Thank you to all who donated, tuned in, and shared. Street Squirrel's in the house. What's going on, man? He had mentioned yesterday, him having Bradle as an attorney. Last 6 months ago or whatnot, he had a bench trial. Bradle had opted for a bench trial in his case. And Aiden's charges were basically, it was over. It was over. It was all over. Nothing to worry about. Those charges were not guilty. Good. So Bradle has a pretty good sense, a strong sense of the fact that he can trust a judge or not trust a judge with a bench trial. He understands, the charges. It's an assault charge, right? This is not a murder case. This is not Kelsey never opened fire. Kelsey, what did she do? Hold a handgun? Bradle knows that this is a simplistic trial, right? Even Gubitosi knows this is simplistic. And this is not going to be like that 2-month Karen Reed trial, right? Like in my head, my mind's like, just because after the past 2 years of the Karen Reed trial, I'm just so used to everything being so expanded and elongated, meaning, the prosecutor, Lally, or Hank Brennan going to have 10,000 witnesses and be asked, what, if anything, 10 billion times. Yeah, exactly. The red eye, for goodness sakes. Get a red eye, Mr. Jackson. So I feel that there's trust in Judge Karp. And Bradel has expressed to Karp in court that he knows him. They know each other from the mid-90s. Again, obviously that does not mean a judge is going to be, we're not saying, because anti-Kelsey people that are apparently now mobilizing online for some reason, because that's just like what they do, I guess. It's like, if they're anti-Karen, they might as well, or they're anti-Turtle Boy, they may as well be anti-Kelsey too, which is just numbing my mind right now, reading some of the stuff I've read from these anti-Kelsey people. But I would say that overall, I can trust Karp. Like, I feel like I can trust Karp, unless, of course, all hell breaks loose and all of a sudden you find out, well, maybe we shouldn't have trusted him. But I don't really, I know that there's a high degree of distrust in our politics here. And I don't mean politics as in politicians, that I'm not getting into Republican, Democrat. I'm just talking about politics as in judges, people that are in charge, obviously, that are in our court systems. Favoritism for certain people, obviously, as we've seen in Kelsey's case and Karen's case. 252 votes, 88% are saying bench trial, that they wanted a bench trial, and that's what they're getting. 88% agree. But yes, I just feel that I know it's common for us, after seeing what's happened to Kelsey, what's happened to Karen, what they did to Turtle Boy, it's very tough to trust these people. I know that it is. I know it's sometimes very tough to trust. And I know there's some people out there that have expressed this to me, whether it's in chat or on Twitter. It's like, Mazza, I'm just nervous, though. I'm just nervous. I get it. I totally get it. I mean, look, it's always going to be nerve-wracking. Everyone's going to react a different way to this, have a different level of confidence, and I don't mean everyone that's nervous doesn't have confidence. I just mean that nerves are nerves. Sometimes it's just anxiety. It's stress. It's, you want to see a good outcome. You're anticipating this. I just think that this judge can be trusted for now. From what I've seen so far, I have seen no reason. There is no reason to not trust him not coming up with a fair ruling. I believe that he can make a fair ruling based on what I've seen so far. Mr. Mock's understudies here. Mr. Mock's understudy is very good. He is very smart, but also he has, he'll say things contrary to me because he likes to converse and also kind of speak his mind, which I enjoy. He says, objectively, there's zero trust. And I agree. I think that's exactly a great argument. That there is zero trust, that a lot of us, everyone that's here, even if you think like, well, Karp seems like a great guy, but I just don't trust him. Like you're right to feel that way, because when you look at everything, like for me, I'm gonna push aside what I've seen and just say, okay, I think I can trust Karp on an individual level. Meaning, yeah, Mr. Monk's understudy throwing up some purple hearts here. Smart person too, Mr. Monk's understudy. Everybody's smart. But yes, it's like, for me, I'm just trying to hone in on Karp individually and saying, like, do I trust him? Yes or no, regardless of what I've seen from other judges, because I did not trust Beverly Cannoni. I did not trust Kathleen McCarthy-Name. And there's been other judges out there that I've said, okay, I don't know if I trust them. But a lot of times too, you'll be shockingly refreshed to find judges that do get on the bench and oversee their courtroom. They could be people that maybe in certain circumstances are pipelined as corrupt judges, but there are cases they cover that they actually just make a fair ruling. I feel, okay, I want to see what Scott says. Let's see what he says. I was hoping Scott would say something. As of this point in time, I trust Judge Karp more than the risk of yet another jury box filled with dumb people. Okay. I was hoping Scott would chime in, and he has. I was kind of looking in the chat to see if Scott was going to say something. Thank you so much, Brenda, for making a purchase today in the popcorn store. But yeah, I would say that I think that's a great argument too. I think as of right now, I would say there's nothing down to $333 in the popcorn store, people. That's amazing. Down to $333 remaining on that. That's fantastic. Let's get this shared real quick. Wow, we're looking good here, folks. There it is. $333 to go right now. Lemon pound. Yeah, lemon pound. We're boosting lemon pound cake. We're promoting that today. I know he's been here, but I was looking for Sarah's teasing me a little bit here. I know he's been here the whole time, but I was looking for a specific comment. Love you, Sarah. Thank you so much for your funny comment there. Yes, and Music to My Soul says, I think anyone who watched the Foss trial, I'm not familiar with that trial, knows there's a substantial risk of a jury getting things wrong too, unfortunately. And that, again, to your point, can be referenced back to the first Karen retrial, where I remember myself, Mark Betterow, a lot of content creators, a lot of people online, very confident through the first trial that this thing, it was a walk away for Karen. That Karen Read was going to get acquitted by summer 2024. I think that was early July that happened. Karen Read was going to walk out the door in 2024, and it was going to be over, right? And it wasn't. And it wasn't because it went on another year. Aiden was on Common Sense Investigators Fundraiser last night and made the comment. Now, he referenced back to Ronnie the Juror and his interview with him. And Ronnie the Juror was very shocking. It was shocked to see what he missed. And what they didn't pick up on. So that was frustrating because I think the jury should have picked up on that stuff. They should have got it right the first time. And some of them obviously did. They just couldn't get the other people to buy into it, which was frustrating because I felt that $233 to go now. $233 to go. We're looking strong, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, this is incredible. We're staying on till we hit this goal. That's for sure. We're just going to stay here all day. We've only been on for how long? Just over an hour. And we already got this thing from $1,029 down to $233. That's great. We'll keep an eye on that as we go. That's fantastic. Thank you. Side Eyes Jess is shopping right now. Thank you so much. Get some lemon pound cake because everybody's getting lemon pound cake today. My Polar Supply, I have a 12-pack of cranberry lime. Not with me, not on hand, but it's here. But I'm rocking Canada Dry today. But yes, you can get cookies too. You can get cookies. You can get lemon pound cake. You can get monkey bread. You can get all kinds of great stuff. But I think overall, I like Tulsa King. That's a good show. One of my favorite shows, actually. I just think again, Bradel knows exactly what's best for Kelsey, and I don't want to see Kelsey in a situation which will now be prevented. And this is Allison, by the way, who heads the store. She sets this up for Kelsey, and 50% of your purchase goes to Kelsey. 50% of your purchase goes to the store for you. Lori's praying. Thank you so much, Lori. Always pray, and always help where you can, I say. But what Bradel's prevented here, Bradel's and Coakley have done some amazing things. What they did was they got my argument with Beverly Cannoni during the Karen Read trial was that I'd always say, and some of you may remember me saying this quite a few times throughout both trials, is the judge is the biggest problem. The judge is the biggest problem. That's what I always used to say about Beverly Cannoni. And the reason why the judge was the biggest problem was because despite what the Canton police did, what the McAlberts did, what the the state police did, and they're all alleged to have done, Karen Read had to fight those accusations, which was tough to fight, right? Their testimonies in court. They gave sworn testimonies in court. All those people, the cops, the McAlberts, all of them gave sworn testimony, right? But that wasn't the biggest problem for Karen. You know, being accused of murder was a problem. Having people say she did it is a problem. But the thing is, once you get to court, thank you, Mermaid. Once you get to court, you want to be able to just be like, okay, regardless of what's happened, we're down to 186 now. Thank you, guys. Down to 186. $186. We're getting down there quick. You know, okay, so you've been accused of this, you're in court. Now all of a sudden you want to be in the court and say, okay, this is my opportunity to prove my innocence. This is my opportunity for my defense team to defend me. Okay? We know we have to take on the prosecutor. We know we're going to have to take on testimony from the McAlberts, the Canton Police, the state police, some other people that are going to say whatever, that are going to try to put Karen Read in prison, right? We know that's the fight, right? So my argument about the judge was, the reason why the judge was the biggest problem is it's like when you're a boxer. Or like if you ever watch pro wrestling, and it's the good wrestler versus the bad wrestler, but then the referee's a bad guy, and the referee isn't helping the good guy, you know, with a fair and impartial fight. It's now he's going to make a fast 3 count or not count at all, like in pro wrestling. You know, that's what you're dealing with. So that's why it's no longer your opponents that are the biggest problem. It's now the judge that's the biggest problem. And that's what happened in the Karen Read case, was that the judge became the biggest problem. Down to $86, folks. We're hitting this today. Wow, $86 to go. Penny Hardaway is my guy. One of my favorite players of all time. I still have his jersey from when I was a middle school kid. Thank you, Street Squirrel, for getting $100 worth for Kelsey today. Enjoy your food. Hope you get some lemon pound cake. And again, Bobby Street Squirrel was a well-known figure for Karen Read, walking her into court, protecting her, always standing tall for her as well was Bobby. Thank you, Street Squirrel. So yes, that judge became the biggest problem because, again, they had to fight with the judge every day, what she would allow in, what she would not allow in. And with Kathleen McCarthy Naaman, that judge was establishing herself as Kelsey's biggest problem. Because here's the thing. Regardless of whatever happened to Kelsey, you know, she was shot, but she survived. She had her child taken away, but she has an opportunity to get her child back, right? Horrible things. But the problem is Kelsey can't afford to be in jail. Like that's regardless of whatever circumstance Kelsey's been in over the last 3 months, recovering from her health, being shot, trying to get her child back, not able to see her child. Despite all of those things being horrible, terrible things, being in jail was just another thing that made it even worse. So with Kelsey at least being home under ankle monitoring is a better circumstance than being in jail, right? Because being in jail only makes everything that's happened even worse. It's a set of circumstances that makes things even worse. And I feel much better ever since Kelsey's been out of jail because of all the horrible things that she's had to endure. At the very least, at least she's not in jail. That's my thought on that. You know, and for her to have had to take on Kathleen McCarthy even for a jury trial, that judge would have been the biggest problem because you can't afford to see Kelsey at risk to have a judge that causes problems, that potentially leads to a jury that decides to vote her guilty because the judge was just helping out. We hit the goal. We got it. There we go. all taken care of. Allison, thank you for getting this set up. You've reached your goal, Allison. We've reached our goal for Kelsey. Now, there's still 2 days left, so you can still make a purchase. So if you'd still like to make a purchase, that popcorn store is going to be open. There's no limit to that at all. You can still go in that store. Every purchase, 50% of it will go. But we knocked that down. We knocked down $1,029 in about an hour and 20 minutes. Hour and 20 minutes was all it took. That's awesome. Great, guys, thank you so much for helping Kelsey and Allison, who set the store up to meet their goal. That goal is fantastic. Absolutely thankful for this. This is great news here today. That's amazing. All right, I'm gonna put a post out for this so we can celebrate this. All right, and we got thank you to all who helped the Kelsey Fitzsimmons popcorn store get the final $1,029 needed to hit the $5,000 goal today. Live show. All right, during the MazzaMedia live show. The store remains open. It's till 8 o'clock on Monday, I think, Allison, right? So I'll say the store remains open through Monday night, Monday the 23rd, at 8 p.m. Please continue. Please feel free to continue making purchases. Justice for Kelsey Fitzsimmons. Perfect. Well, that's fantastic. That's great. Well, we got it done. Guys, thank you so much. That's fantastic. Thank you for helping us achieve this goal today for Kelsey. Lemon pound cake. Lemon pound cake's being, they're probably sitting, the popcorn store is probably sitting there right now like, lemon pound cake is actually our hottest selling item right now. Yeah, exactly. Kelsey and cookies, popcorn for you. Y'all are amazing, she says. MJ throws up the purple hearts. You're welcome, music to my soul. Awesome job, everybody. Tracy V's in the house. This is fantastic. Good to hear the weather is awesome in New Jersey today. Darcy, this community rocks. You are all beautiful. I will not be in court Monday. I'm working on plans to be there, though. We'll figure out. I have it figured out probably by Monday at some point. Congratulations, Allison. Thank you, Allison, for getting this done. Again, the people in the comments at Roundhouse Media, they reached out. Yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern. Music to my soul. The people at Roundhouse Media reached out to me. They said we want the popcorn store back. I said I'll reach out to Allison. I reached out to Allison. Allison got this set up, and this is great. I hope it will tell us how far we go past goal too. I'm sure he will. I'm sure that will be brought up for sure. And be in the chat too and ask. Definitely ask. That'll be great. That'd be fantastic. Ask for that. Hopefully people will pick up on that, and we'll get that talked about by Mark. It would be great to hear Mark Betteros. Lemon pound cake's trending right now. Rami's here. Jen O. Oh, Felicia. Thank you, Madam Mayhem. Appreciate it. I like the name Madam Mayhem. That's a good name. Tracy, TC Maylin throwing up some purple hearts. Great idea, Allison. Yeah, Allison got this originally started, and I'm just thankful for everybody that wanted to get this going again. Thank you all. Not that Mary B, the other Mary B says, I love the generosity of this community. Nefarious Shenanigans, says, thanks, Mazza. Yeah, let me know. Yeah, we're all helping Kelsey together, Darcy. This all the purchases that were made today were by the folks that made the purchase, but we're all working together here. Yeah, I never tried the beef jerky. Thank you, Bless Texas. Tell it, Lolly. Thank you so much. Yeah, I was just thinking yesterday. Let's just push this popcorn store today. I wanted Allison has taken a lot of her time to get this together, and I just want to make sure, like, we just have to make sure everything gets as much promotion. And I'm like, I just want to make sure Allison, because Allison sends this to me. Like, as soon as the store is ready, Allison emailed me. She's like, Mazza, here you go. Get this online. I'm like, we'll do. Absolutely. So I just want to make sure that, this has enough amplification today. So that's great. I'm happy, and everyone enjoy your snacks. This is great. Victory lap here, guys. This is another victory for us today. Another victory for Kelsey. And, this is a good question. Allison, do we know if when we have a $5,000 goal, does that mean that that's one thing I've always been confused about too, is does this mean that this was $5,000 in purchases with half going to Kelsey and half going to the store? Or does this mean that there were really $10,000 in purchases, but $5,000 of that $10,000 went to Kelsey? That's what I'm wondering. But it seems like a lot of people are making $100 purchases, and that was counting towards the goal. I'm not sure. So I'll let Allison let us know. So I'm not sure if only 2,500 of that goes to Kelsey or 5,000. Let's look what state you're in, how it works. I was hoping just to be able to read it. Okay, so it's $2,500 goes to Kelsey. Okay, got you. Okay, so it looks at, I see. So you set up a goal, and whatever that goal is, it takes into account the purchasing amount. Okay, so it's the amount. $5,000 was purchased. $2,500 goes to Kelsey. Okay, got you. And I wonder if this will tell us if someone, if the next person, so almost, okay, I see what you mean. So because of the two that hit 5,000, it's 5,000 to Kelsey for both. I'm wondering if there's anybody here, if they could notify us, if they're able to make a purchase in the next few minutes, could you let us know? Because what I'd like to know is, will this tell us, say like somebody makes $100, sells purchases $100 of product, would this then say, surpassed by like $100? Like, will this actually tell us how much we overshot the goal? I'm wondering that. So if anybody makes a purchase in the next few minutes, would you let us know just so we can take a look at that? I'd just like to know if that tells us. But the link is in the description, Lori, for you. So if you go to the description, lemon pound cake. Yeah, there's a link in the description, and then MJ, if you don't mind, just dropping that X link again for us. I appreciate it, MJ. Thank you for your help on this, by the way. I appreciate it. Thank you for making this move forward. MJ has been in the chat. She is ensuring that everybody has an opportunity to see the link. Lori, you got it. Great. Fantastic. MJ has been keeping that link in the chat, keeping it circulating for us. So thank you, MJ, for just moving this forward for all of us today. All right. So, yeah, like I said, the judge being the biggest problem has always been an issue. Kathleen McCarthy Naiman, Kelsey can't afford to go back to jail. She can't, and she can't be bothered by a judge like Kathleen McCarthy Naiman that throws her in jail. And I think that thank you so much, Winterbug. Thank you so much. Ontario, Canada, north of the border. All right. She can't afford to have to, even the defense, they can't deal with all the nonsense. Like, you saw Karen's attorneys constantly getting into it with Canoni constantly interrupting them, getting into it with them. All that stuff was annoying. Overruling their objections constantly. All that stuff was just madness. People did stats on it. You could see how outrageous it was. And then, Kathleen McCarthy Naiman, she was giving a hard time to Bradle, wasn't she? And that was troublesome to me, or bothersome. That was something I didn't like very much. I didn't like seeing that. And I'm like, oh, here we go again. And I honestly think this judge was worse than Beverly Cadoni. I do. I actually preferred Beverly Cadoni to Kathleen McCarthy Naiman, because I felt that McCarthy Naiman did everything in her power to put Karen in jail. Kelsey in jail, rather. And I didn't like that. And God forbid that had happened to Karen as well. But I felt that this was absolutely out of control. And Bradel really pulled a card out of his sleeve like this, like Gambit. It was like, you're out of there. We're going to get a new judge. We're moving on here. And yeah, I know. That's a great point. That's a great point. No question about that. How do I feel about Canadian maple syrup? I love Canadian maple syrup. Canadian maple syrup is the way to go. There's no question about that at all. Exactly. She never belonged in jail to begin with. I agree. But it was great that Bradel got, because again, if McCarthy Naiman was overseeing this trial this week, this is a jury trial. We would be waiting for jury selection Monday morning. This would be a jury trial. This would go to that level. And that would be problematic, because God forbid, because the thing is, I believe very strongly in Kelsey's innocence. I believe that a jury will more likely than not have declared Karen innocent. However, thank you, Natalie D. I'm going to check it right now. Okay, so it does not tell us. So Natalie just made a purchase, and so it will not tell us how much was made. So Allison, you must probably have some kind of access in your login on this Poppin' Popcorn page that probably tells us the total. I'm guessing. That's what I'm thinking. That it's probably not public, but it's probably, there's probably some kind of main screen or whatever in your login on this page. It'll probably tell you the exact amount of purchases. So we'll have to wait for updates. Okay, yeah, she confirms that. Okay, perfect. So Allison would be able to provide updates as we go here as well. Okay, so we're not going to be able to see it from the website moving forward. Okay, perfect, Allison. Thank you for letting me know. So let's say, for example, this judge was overseeing the trial, Kathleen McCarthy Naiman. As a result, Bradel's not going bench trial. He's going with a jury trial. Now, all of a sudden, there's a jury. Now, all of a sudden, that jury goes back and forth. They say, well, maybe the officer's right. Well, maybe Kelsey's right. And then you start to have this back and forth, and let's just say that maybe two jurors hold the line for either Kelsey did it or Kelsey. I'm going to end this poll too here. The poll was 88% for bench trial, by the way, 87% for bench trial, 13% for jury trial, 360 votes. So you could have, Allison, are we able to increase the goal? Or is it preset? And thank you, Allison, as well. I agree. Thank you, Sarah. Be creative for that. So again, what you don't want to see here, and I think this is probably Bradel's thinking, is even with a judge that, he trusts judge. I mean, obviously you trust the judge if you're going to a bench trial. That much has been established by this decision, by this defense team and Kelsey, to go with a bench trial. But even with Karp, who they trust, they know that a jury, we can increase the goal. That's perfect. That's great. Yes, let's do that, Allison, if you don't mind. I think that would be great. We could do whatever we want to do. 10,000. We could do 10,000. We could do maybe 2,000, like 1,000 for Sunday, 1,000 for Monday. Up to you. So yeah, we know that he trusts the judge, but the problem is like you look at Ronnie the judge. People saying 10,000. People are recommending 10K. Perfect. 10K. 10K. All right. People are she's gonna talk. Okay, she's gonna work this out. Perfect, Allison. Thank you so much for what you're doing, Allison. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, so Scott says a hung jury would have merely delayed all the gains that Bradel and Coakley were able to gain from Judge Karp. Right. Karp removed all of Judge McCarthy-Namon's ludicrous restrictions off of Kelsey already. Right. So that's what I'm thinking too. I just think that overall, you trust the judge. If this goes right to the judge, you have more than enough reasonable doubt. The judge is going to have to rule appropriately, and that's good to go. That's it. So put it in the judge's hands. Let the judge hear the trial. Let the judge make a ruling. Kelsey walks out the door, and she's on to bigger and better things, which is trying to get custody of her child or equal custody of her child. Now, the thing is if it's a jury, like you just don't want. That's why I think so many people here are going with, because let's be honest. That poll we just ran, 87% of 360 people saying that they wanted a bench trial. That poll would have been like 99% jury trial if Kathleen McCarthy was still the judge. Let's be honest. None of us would have wanted a bench trial with her at all, including the defense and including Kelsey. There's no way that happens. Now, it's going to be, like we saw with the first trial with Karen, is you just don't want to sit here now. You have, like Scott just said, you have Judge Karp. This trial going to him will be in good hands, so we believe at this time. It's going to have a great outcome, so we believe at this time. And if you put it in the jury's hands, who knows if one or two people are stubborn on that jury. And it's like some guy sits there and he's like, I think she did it. I think she did it, and they're just like kicking back. They're like, no, she did it, and they're like, well, I'm going to tell you why. And next thing you know, jury deliberation goes on for 4 days. And this guy's like, you never convinced me that she didn't do it, and that could be a problem. Or you might just have someone that can't think. They're like, well, it's a he said, she said, I don't know. It could have gone either way. I understand both arguments. I know Harold's over here saying he thinks she's guilty, but I just don't know. And there's 10 people in the room like, there's reasonable doubt. We can't return with a guilty verdict. But then you got the guy that's like, she did it. Then you got the other guy that's like, well, I don't know. I see it from both sides, and he just won't. He sees it from both sides, but he won't decisively reach a conclusion. That if you can't reach this is my argument about the first jury during the Karen Reed trial. If you cannot reach a conclusive decision amongst 12 jurors, if you cannot conclusively determine that all 12 of you believe that Karen Reed was innocent or guilty, then that of it in itself is reasonable doubt, and you should acquit. If you guys, as 12 people, can't sit in a room and say, I think she's guilty or I think she's innocent, then you must acquit, because that's reasonable doubt. Because you someone in your room is doubting. You are doubting collectively her guilt or her innocence, or excuse me, her. You're doubting the fact that she did this. There's not enough purpose established to determine that she did it. So that's what this all comes down to. Is that's reasonable doubt. If you guys can't if you cannot sit here as a jury of 12 people and decisively agree that Karen Reed is innocent, then that is reason. Then that means there's reasonable doubt that's been established, and that means you guys should acquit. That's my attitude. That's just my attitude. I just think it's as academic and elementary as that, and that's exactly right, Sue. And that was the problem. And to that point, And I think Bradle's argument here is that's why I think he wants to go to a bench trial, because people that, like the naysayer I was talking about earlier, it's like, well, I think Kelsey did it. I think if it went to a jury, I think that they would have said she's guilty. And I think Bradle and the defense team were afraid of that. That's what that guy was arguing. But the thing is, I don't think that Bradle and the defense team are afraid of a guilty verdict at all. I don't think they're afraid that a jury is going to convict her. I don't think that they're afraid that the judge is going to convict her. That's why they're going with a bench trial. But they're not going with a jury trial because they're afraid of the jury. So they're not afraid of it. Let's put it this way. They are afraid of the jury, but they're not afraid of the jury convicting Kelsey. They're afraid of the jury, as am I, that the jury won't properly see this for what it is and won't properly declare that there's reasonable doubt and acquit, come back with a not guilty verdict. I think that because of this being a he said, she said, and even though we know Kelsey's innocent, and there are some that think she's guilty, I still think that there's a considerable risk when you present such a story before a jury that a jury is going to get too hung up on what they can't figure out. And I think that a jury could potentially get confused. And I think it's a tough presentation to a jury. I think it can be presented to a jury. I just think there's a degree of obstacle to it, meaning there's going to, like you saw with Alan Jackson and Unetti and all of them in the first trial, they did a masterful job. They absolutely outperformed Lally. There's no question about that. They defeated Lally and the prosecution every day they were in court during that first trial. Every single witness they won. No question about it. But when it came time to that jury could not conclusively reach a verdict of not guilty. And that was a problem. And the verdict slip didn't help out, obviously, either. But I think that if I'm Bradle and I'm Coakley and I'm Courtney Healy and I'm Kelsey Fitzsimmons and her family, I am thinking that a bench trial is the way to go here, because I don't want to see, this is why 87% out of 360 voters have said they wanted a bench trial, because I just don't want this before a jury that could get this wrong. Not that I think they would have come back with a guilty verdict, but I don't want to see this end up in a hung jury or a mistrial or anything like that that could potentially keep this thing going. We want Kelsey and her defense team to walk into court, present themselves, do their cross-examinations, do their direct examinations. All right? Get that done. Wait on the judge to render a ruling, and that's it. It's over. Now it's reasonable doubt. It's not guilty. Miss Fitzsimmons, you're free to go. Take off the scram bracelet, the scram test, take off the bracelet. It's over. It's over. By Friday, by Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's over. It's done. And now Kelsey can spend all her focus going forward on this on the child custody and probate and family court. And she can move forward with that. And this whole thing can just start moving forward now, because I'm telling you, it's going to be a nuisance, and you don't want to see Kelsey and her defense team caught up in this stuff, and having this go on and on and on for a long time. You don't want to have to do this. I mean, look at what Karen and her defense team went through. All those hours, all the days in court, all the drives back and forth to Dedham. I mean, they might as well have listed the courthouse as their place of employment or their residence. They spent so much time in that place. Okay. It was 2 exhaustingly long 2-month trials. It was absolutely elongated. Now, what's great about this is it'll be a shorter trial. It'll be 3 days, maybe 3 or 4 days, 4 to 5 days, maybe. But, this is a set of circumstances that could be, a lot better. That they get the ruling, the judge is going to see the reasonable doubt. It's he said, she. I mean, look, I've said this before, whether Kelsey did what they say she did. And I said, well, let's devil's advocate. Let's say she did exactly what Noonan said. Okay, fine. It's still reasonable doubt because it's a he said, she said. Even if Noonan, let's be cold about this. If Kelsey Fitzsimmons had in fact pointed her gun at Noonan, if Kelsey Fitzsimmons had in fact done what Officer Noonan claims she did, which was point her firearm at him, and she turned around and said, "No, I tried to point it at myself. No, I never I never pointed it at him. I pointed it at myself. Yeah, see, I got postpartum depression. I was upset. I pointed it on myself. Still a he said, she said. It's still a he said, she said. It's still a he said, she said at the end of the day. So that's what I'm saying. If you flip the script and say Noonan's telling the truth, Kelsey's lying, it's still he said, she said. And there's not proof beyond a reasonable doubt that she did what that officer claims. And that's the cold-hearted truth. And I said this on a show a week or two ago with some folks, and I can't remember if they agreed or whatever, but I saw some eyes widen, and I said, look, I go, let's say she did. Let's say she did do exactly what Noonan said. Let's say she did that. Let's say she did. I don't believe she did. I believe he overreacted, misfired, and then connected on the second shot. I think the fact that he missed his first shot is proof to me that he overreacted. If he reacted in such a way where he couldn't hit his first shot 1-for-1, that tells me that he was reacting in a manner that couldn't fully assess the situation. It tells me he was having a knee-jerk reaction and opened fire and missed, then hit the second. That's what that tells me. That's what I'm convinced of. It's just the fact that he missed the first shot. That's why in the time frame when we weren't sure whether it was the first that hit or the second that hit, I was somehow from the very beginning, and you guys might remember I said it, I was convinced from the beginning that he missed the first shot. I was always convinced. I wish I could find that audio. You do so many shows and they're so long you can't pinpoint it, but I was always convinced that the first shot missed. I was always convinced that he reacted, fired, missed, then hit her the second time. I was always convinced of that. And based on what I read, that validated that I had the right assessment. All right, good. We're over 5,257 in sales currently. That's fantastic, Allison. That's great. Great getting that set up. Thank you for the updates. And you guys are awesome. Thank you for doing the popcorn store. And it's a pleasure to take some time on this show to amplify the promotion of those sales for you guys. Great work. Thank you for setting that up. Even if Judge Karp sort of believes Officer Noonan's versions of events, it's still up to the Commonwealth to prove it beyond any reasonable doubt. So Karp, going by that standard, must acquit. Commonwealth can't prove it. Well said. Well said. And I think that's why you should have body cams, because if what happened the way you said it did, your body cams would prove that. If Kelsey Fitzsimmons was this horrible person, then body cams would prove it. Body cams would prove it. But you can't prove it because you don't have body cams. You know? Mullen Law's in the house. You've missed many rants. Whether or not they're brilliant, it's up to the chat to decide. Mullen Law's here. I'm looking forward to meeting her this upcoming week. It's a big week. It's a big week. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to meeting Lori. Lori, we have great news for you. The popcorn store hit its goal. I'll show you right now. Right there. There you go. It hit goal. And Allison just reported that it's up to $5,200 right now. So we're $5,257 right now. Allison's reporting from the back system on the webpage. So that's great news. It was $1,029 when we started, and it came all the way down to zero and surpassed it as well. So that's great. Yeah, it's been a day of gentle rants. Gentle rants. Yeah, exactly. We are the lucky ones, says a couple of them. And they still don't have body cams. Exactly. They still don't have them. Yeah, the lemon pound cake drove sales today because so many people have been inspired by Afro Man's song that they have gone out and bought lemon pound cake, ladies and gentlemen, which is absolutely hilarious, to say the least. So yes, we are moving forward here today with great sales for Kelsey and helping her out here, which is fantastic. All right. So yes. But like I said, well, let's see. Oh, that's good to know. Steve, sugar-free is great on keto. Won't kick you out of ketosis. See, I have used sugar-free barbecue sauce too. I found some in the store, which is good. But yeah, like I said, I just think there's too much reasonable doubt. There's not enough. I mean, I always said that about Karen. There's no definitive evidence that Karen Reed did what they said. There's none. There's no definitive evidence that, like I said, whether Kelsey did what she said or did what Noonan said, there's still reasonable doubt. They can't convict her. It's going to get dismissed. And Gubitosi, looked like he was shaking a little bit in court recently to me. It just looked like he looked a little bit nervous about what was happening, because Bradel's like, bench trial. And then he's like, no, no. Which is good. I just think that this is going to be beneficial for everybody except for the prosecution, obviously. But again, I don't. The jury selection can be interesting. You just never know what somebody's going to think. You don't know how the jury is going to rule. I mean, it's the same thing with the judge, but I think the judge will still rule based on the relevance of the law. What the law is. And all Bradel and Martha Coakley and the team have to do is be very well prepared to go in there and just establish their facts. And Bradel has had many aces up his sleeve. If he didn't, Kathleen McCarthy-Naiman would still be on top of this thing, wouldn't she? But she's not. She's out of there. She's gone. She is goodbye. She has moved on to other things. And, she's someone that should certainly be reviewed, but will not, unfortunately. But we're looking forward to things moving forward for her this week. And again, I'm looking forward to Noonan. Noonan's the cross-examination. Thank you so much. I read that. I first read that first sentence. Like, what are you talking about? Okay, that's good. She goes, I got to say, I love your commitment to Kelsey's case. The truth is admirable, in my humble opinion. Blessings from Scotland. Well, thank you for watching from Scotland. Hope everything's good in Scotland. I've never been to Scotland, but Scotland seems like a very, very nice country. And thank you for tuning in, Nicola Maxwell. Thank you. I like this one by Madam Mayhem here. She says, they can't convince me that Kelsey is guilty. She got shot, had her baby taken away, and did time. She has suffered so much, and in my opinion, didn't do this. I think that's what the problem is. Like, for me, family and probate court in a month is all about what? So Kelsey can see her child, so they can have 50-50 custody. I mean, is that basically the nuts and bolts of it? And when you think about everything that happened, Justin getting the RO being served, the RO ending up in shootings, and the baby being taken away, and all that had happened. And then Justin being suspended because of the reefer videos that came out from Brady. And now him not even being able to go to work right now because of that. And as a result of that, Justin is now finding himself in a set of circumstances where things are not going his way. You don't want your personal life to affect your professional life. And I have to say that Kelsey and Justin, as a result of these decision making, the RO being put into place, the way the RO was served, this has not, in the long run, benefited Kelsey, and it has not benefited Justin. Justin is now being criticized online for his behavior. His recordings are all over the internet. This guy has been suspended from his job as a result of this. This is a situation that could have been rectified by him taking her to family and probate court or whatever in the first place, having and I said this last night on Common Sense Investigator. All Justin had to do is say, hey, look, let's just share. Let's end this relationship. I don't want to get married. Let's go to this. Let's just get the child into joint custody, and let's just. Romantically, I don't want to be with you anymore. I understand we have this kid. Whatever. He'd have to pay the child support. Obviously, maybe that's what this is all about. Maybe he just didn't want to pay child support. Maybe that's what happened here. Maybe that was what. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying allegedly that could have happened. Potentially, he could have sat there and said, hey, I don't want to pay my couple $1,000 a month in child support to this woman to have joint custody. So I'm going to try to just do this as a way of getting custody of the child by saying this and doing this and all that. And maybe at the end of the day, I don't have to pay child support, because you remember he tried to get her to pay. I think he tried to get her to pay child support there what, 20 years of child support all at once he was going for, if I'm not mistaken. So it tells me that child support probably played a big factor in this. That would have to be what it is. But at the end of the day, I mean, look, Kelsey has no choice but to start firing back. Which is a better term. Pushing back in this situation, because this is a scenario where, I mean, look what this has done to her life. This woman has been shot. Look how it's affected her life as a police officer. She was shot by her fellow cops, by a fellow cop. Her fellow department, her fellow officers entered her home. She lost her child. This woman's been to jail because of what's happened here. This woman, Kelsey Fitzsimmons, has faced a dire set of circumstances. It's amazing that Kelsey physically looks as present as she does after nearly losing her life. That she looks as, I wouldn't say she's positive. I would say she's poised. I don't mean she's negative either. I'm not really getting a positive, negative reading. I'm getting more of like a locked in reading from her. It's amazing she's just locked in, and focused on this, because this woman has dealt with absolute fucking hell. Pardon my French, but she has dealt with absolute hell. And it's devastating to see what she's gone through, where once again, this thing could have been mediated from the beginning. This could have been, if Justin wanted his RO, whatever he wanted to do, I guess he could have gotten it, but it didn't have to affect the child. Maybe there could have been a workaround established where, whatever's whatever. But I didn't like the fact that this thing went to the level it did. And I believe in one set of circumstances, Mullen Laws here, she might correct me on this, I might be wrong. I think that regardless of the RO being served, there probably would have been an opportunity to meet in court about custody of the child. If he got custody, she would have paid him child support, more money for the dispense, more money for, yes, all that. But I think there would have been an opportunity for Kelsey, regardless of that RO being served, to have an opportunity to get custody, or joint custody, I should say. Mullen Law will correct me in moments here if I'm wrong, or validate if I was right about that. I might be a little wrong there. I think I might be a little off with my information, but I think there was going to be an opportunity for her to get joint custody. But it, I just think that this could have been handled much better. Okay, so yes, absolutely, as she says. Okay. So, yeah, I just don't like the situation, because I just feel like I said, is Kelsey better off or worse off after what happened? I'd say worse off. I'd say no matter how much she recovers from this, no matter what civil suit she wins, getting her child back, regardless of all of that, she's gone through this. This is a terrible experience. So she's worse off in a sense that she's had to go through this horrible experience. But if she gets millions of dollars in civil suits, that's great. It's just horrible at the end of the day that she still had to go through that. That's what I don't like for her, is the trauma that she's gone through. And the hearing scheduled for April 2nd is to give Kelsey shared custody. Now, better off in that sense. I mean, what I'm going for is more of the better off in the sense that they just kind of said, let's just do joint custody and go our separate ways. That's what I meant by that. So better off in a sense that she doesn't go through what she went through with the North Andover Police Department, with Kathleen McCarthy. All that. That's what I mean by that. She would have been better off if she never had to go through this. And Justin and her were just able to get this all washed off and move on with joint custody and whatever. As opposed to this involving what happened at the house, what's happened to Kelsey, the torture she's been through the legal system. And then Justin, is he better off or worse off? Because he's worse off. He's worse off for a few reasons. Number one, public opinion. Very bad for him, obviously. You hear the negativity about him. And number two, this is a guy that got suspended from his job because of the videos that Kelsey's attorney has released. That never gets released if this doesn't happen. So I think that Kelsey and him are both worse off because of the decision he made. And they would be in both a better situation if they just, if he just said to her, well, look, I just don't want to be with you anymore. Let's just do joint custody of the child. Let's go our separate ways. Kelsey doesn't get shot. She doesn't go to jail. She doesn't not get to see her child for 9 months. He doesn't have to deal with all the public criticism and have to hire a PR firm. He doesn't have to go to NBC 10. He doesn't get suspended from his job. It's just, it's a terrible situation that's happened here for both parties as a result of that decision. That's how I feel. Kelsey should be, Kelsey, for her right now, her life should have gone as follows. Joint custody. So let's just say they separated, they didn't get married. So it'd be joint custody, living in her own place this entire time, probably in that very house to this day. Joint custody, so she'd see the kid 3 or 4 days a week. Still working for the North Andover Police Department. She'd still be on the job. So, and then no wound, no gun wound, no mental trauma, no time in jail. Those are all things for her. And that's why I think people like her in her situation, when civil suits come down, is entitled to millions of dollars. I just feel like when you nearly have your life taken, that's a lawsuit against your police department. You have your kid taken away. Who knows what kind of civil suits she's going to file? Who knows what's going to be coming down the pike here? But that's someone that deserves millions of dollars. She deserves her home paid for. She deserves to, never have to work again. I do agree with that. I just think that people that go through what Karen went through and her what she went through, you deserve that right, because people have taken like Karen Reed. She lost her job as a professor. She's never been back to work. It's Karen Reed was going to work every day as a professor, going about her day. Something happened. Look how her life was altered. People like her don't deserve to have their lives ruined over things like this. And the same thing with Kelsey. She doesn't deserve to have her life ruined over this. And like I said, she's missed critical time with her child. That child was about 4 months old at the time. The child is about 9 months right now. So the child's almost a year. She's missed 9 months out of the first 12 months roughly of her child's life. Is that fair? Is that fair? And people might say, well, Kelsey's this, Kelsey's that. She had a history of this, a history of that. I understand. Look, I understand that every single one of us as human beings have attributes that someone else may not like. I get that. I totally get that. But we all have rights. We all have rights. And regardless of anybody's opinion of her, regardless of anything she may or may not have done, she's still entitled to a fair opportunity to vouch for custody of her child. The child's 13 months. Okay, that's right. February the child was born in. That's right. So it's February. The child was 4 months at the time. Yeah, okay, now I got the math. Okay, 4 + 9 is 13. That's right. So this woman has missed critical time with her child, and she has rights. And people out there, or life or fate as it would have it, has taken away her right as an American citizen to file for custody or joint custody, whatever, and not have to be, like Afro Man, have their home invaded by officers. And I just think that that's, for me, something I find very troubling, because that's been one of the biggest things I've argued about throughout all of this is if you take Justin and Kelsey and whatever you think about them out of the equation, if you take away whether one person was right, one person was wrong, or one person did something right, or one person did something wrong, you take that all out of the equation, it still boils down to the fact that Kelsey has the right to, as does Justin, to meet in a court system to just work this out and figure out what they want to do in terms of child custody, without the po-po rolling up at her house, walking in the door the exact moment she opens the door, barraging her while they're already inside her house with, hey, we're here to serve an RO, failing to secure firearms, dealing with a woman that's the mother of a 4-month-old in postpartum that could be suicidal at any moment or potentially act out violently, which I don't believe. But this is the set of circumstances that have happened here. And it's not fair to Kelsey. Having him, Justin, in the house is going to escalate the situation. It's going to pour fuel on the fire. It could make her react. It could make her scream and shout. These officers should know something about de-escalation. And I think that they failed to do that. They escalated this situation. They should have taken her outside the house. Please step outside. We're here to serve an RO. This is what we want to do. This is what's going to happen. We want to know where the firearms are. We're going to secure them first. Then we're going to allow you or your mother inside the home. You can pack for the child. That should have been how that RO was served, given the circumstances that I do not agree with. But when they took her, they went inside the house. You see the door open. The door opens in the video. They come walking right in like they're invited. And she kind of turns around like, what the hell is going on here? And then they obviously walk in that next room where I guess that's where they share with her why they're there. And why the hell would Kelsey Fitzsimmons ever be like, oh, that's great. You're here to take away my kid. Well, that's fantastic. I don't want to be a mother. Here you go. Let me pack things up. Great. Thank you. You think that's going to be the reaction? Do you think that any mother is ever going to, even Mama Fratelli from Goonies would have given the cops hell? Okay? Even Mama Fratelli in Goonies would have given the cops hell. Nobody messes with their boys, even though she treated Sloth incorrectly. So I'm just using that as an extreme example and add a little bit of humor because this is a tough conversation to have, obviously. But again, you think did the officers expect to walk in and be like, hey, Kelsey, how you doing? Yeah, good to see you. Yeah, we saw you earlier this morning. Yeah, we met your child this morning. Hey, we're here to serve an RO, and we're here to take your baby away. Yeah. We're taking your child away, and you're not going to be able to see your child, so you're able to go to court for a while. But, yeah, that's why we're here. So, hey, do you get any orange juice in the fridge? I haven't had something to drink in a while. I mean, honestly, do you really think that those officers really think that that's what was going how that was going to go down? Did you really think that Kelsey was going to say, well, yes, before you guys stop, let me get you guys some something to drink. Let me put on some tea. We can have oatmeal or something to eat or make dinner for you guys. You think? And by the way, here's my child here. I mean, how the hell do you not think Kelsey is not going to go nuclear, absolutely nuclear, about these officers in her house about to take away her child? I mean, come on. Common Sense Investigators in the house. Common Sense Investigator, we have great news. The popcorn store started with $1,029 to go. We drove it all the way down to zero and beyond. So the popcorn stores hit the $5,000 goal, surpassed it, which is great news. And congratulations to Common Sense Investigator. I had a great fundraiser last night, raising over $2,500 to Kelsey. Please subscribe to Common Sense Investigator. And that'd be great. Thank you so much. Lauren has done a great job. Lauren, I believe you said you'll be here this week as well in Lawrence. Yeah, exactly. So do we think that, do these officers seriously think, hey, yeah, Kelsey, how you doing? She's just going to hand over the child to you, and there's going to be no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Oh, I was hoping somebody would come to my house and just take away my baby today. Oh my goodness, this is such a wonderful day. And that's not going to be the reaction. That's not going to be the reaction. You have to come in expecting that Kelsey's going to be pretty much as any mother would, any parent would. Even as someone that's never been a parent, if someone came to take my younger sibling away, it would have been World War III. Okay? So that's why I'm saying the system failed Kelsey, because they failed to protect her from herself. Because they placed her in a situation where they barraged her, they sabotaged her, they took her by surprise, told her what was going on, and why is she not going to be upset? Why is she not going to react? If anything, the officers not securing the firearms first probably tells me one thing, that they trusted her character, that they probably thought she wasn't going to react the way she did in terms of pulling a firearm on herself. So that's kind of a character thing right there. Isn't that a sign of a good character quality? That they trusted Kelsey enough not to first secure the firearms? I could say, because they didn't think she was violent, I guess they wouldn't have whatever. So I just think that this is something that goes in her favor a little bit too. I just think that this woman was placed in a situation that was unfair to her. I really do. And we all do. I mean, let's be honest. It's just not the goal has been up to $6,500. So the goal has been re-upped here. So it's at $6,500 for now. $1,500 increase is good. Nice little increment update every day. Obtainable, make the goal obtainable. Then every time we hit it, we can move it up. That's great. Allison, thank you for moving that up. So we hit the 5,000, and it's going to be moved up to 65,000 now. 6,500, I'm sorry, not 65,000. 6,500. But yeah, I just don't, I'm just not a fan of what they did to her. And again, I think the cops must have thought she would have never gone for a firearm if they said they didn't secure it first. So I guess that means they trusted her good character, because she has good character then, right? So that's a good point. But they should have secured the firearms first, just made sure the house was nice and safe for everybody. And I just think they escalated it by bringing Justin in the home as well. All it's going to do is make her more upset. And, you never know how a mother's going to react in that situation. When you put someone in that situation, how they react may be no fault of their own. You know what I'm saying? They may just react, because again, we're all instinctual. And when it comes to protecting our families, we're instinctual creatures. Our instincts go back to our primal days of humanity, no different than wildlife where lions and a mother bear will protect her cubs, and in nature, they'll do so by any means necessary. And when you put Kelsey in that situation, you're basically enacting her maternal instincts, which are wired not by lawful restriction, but by normal reaction, and if she felt suicidal, you placed her in that situation. She had postpartum depression and she felt that way. You put her in that situation, and by not securing the firearms, you would have been responsible for her killing herself. Let's be honest. It would have been the North Andover Police Department's failure. They would have caused her suicide. That's who would have been responsible. And thank God she survived. Thank God she survived. God protected her in an awful situation. But they didn't do the job right, did they? And because they didn't do the job right, that's also reasonable doubt. Because if they can't do everything else right, then how can Officer Noonan really be trusted as handling the bedroom situation accurately and appropriately, right? How could you sit there and say, oh, well, I think that this guy did everything by the book, when they didn't do a lot of things by the book. And I'm very interested in seeing the cross-examinations by Bradel of these officers, every single one of them, including the chief of police, and saying, what the were you guys doing? Why would you ever do that? Why wouldn't you secure the firearms first? What were you guys thinking? Why would you not do that? Why would you barrage her like that? Why wouldn't you just serve her with the RO another way? What's wrong with you? No family services on the scene. No DCF. Why? Why not? They should have had a DCF person, preferably a woman, walking right up to her and consoling her and getting Kelsey more prepared. I don't want to hear anything from anybody with a difference of opinion on this, that I'm wrong about this. I don't care. I'm right about this. We're all right about this. Pardon me, I'm sorry, I'm trying not to swear on this show today. But they bleeped up royally with the way they handled this. And I'm sorry, but Kelsey Fitzsimmons, in that situation, in postpartum depression, can't be held responsible for her actions, whether they're what she said and whether they're what Noonan said. That's the bottom line. I'm sorry. But I'm sorry. There has to be a level of accountability for this police department. There has to be. And this police department deserves to be sued. And they've been sued before by Katie Gerke. Katie Gerke, that officer talked to Justin on the phone. We heard those recordings, didn't we? She sued that police department, didn't she? Yes, she did. She sued them. She had a problem with them. Another woman had an issue with that police department too, didn't they? This police department is not all in order, are they? They're screwing up left and right, aren't they? I'm sure they do some things right. I'm sure they're not all bad cops, but there's something wrong with that police department. That much is for sure. That much is for sure. You know, that's all. And this is a contention. I like contention. She says, I 100% disagreed that she was still in postpartum depression. She was cleared to return to work. Postpartum is a temporary part of recovery. It's my understanding that could still go on longer. However, I would still say this, postpartum depression or not, what mother wouldn't be upset about this? What mother would not be furious about all of this? What mother would not be, are you kidding me? You're taking away my kid? Are you kidding me? What mother would not react? Postpartum, like I said, postpartum depression or not, it's a non-factor to me, because I would say any mother would lose their mind over this. I think any father in their right mind would. I know if that was my child, I'd be absolutely nuclear. You've come to take my kid away. You've come to take away my baby. Unbelievable. This is why so many people are so, pardon my French, pissed off about this. They are. Because this is a sickening situation. It is absolutely sickening that Kelsey went through this. And I don't care what the other people want to say about it. I don't care about any negative criticism that's coming her way. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. You don't box in somebody like that. You don't barrage somebody like that. You don't take somebody by surprise like that and not ensure that they're not going to react in a way that's a danger to you or a danger to herself. And that's why this was horribly mishandled. And they'll get in court this week. Those officers will sit up there and they'll claim they did everything by the book. They'll claim that's how we always do things here in North Andover. Yeah, we were told she was, it's just whatever. It's a disgusting situation. And if I'm Bradle, I'm Martha Coakley. I'm hitting home all week. Why was DCF not there? Why would you not have DCF there? Why would they not be present? You were coming to take a baby away from their child. You didn't want DCF there? Come on. It's just, I don't even care if they're watching, those officers, I don't care. I just, they could be watching it right now at the police station, mocking me, saying that Mazza idiot's on again. Really don't care. Look, I'll be honest. The only reason why we're talking about you is because you guys screwed up. We're here because you guys messed up. I'm not talking. I had no intention of ever talking about the Canton Police Department in my life or the North Andover Police Department. I don't spend my days looking at police departments and saying, oh, geez, how can I come online and criticize a bunch of cops? But when there's cases where people that I see have been dealt an injustice, then I do. And there's an awful lot of criticism for North Andover right now. There is. Terrible. Oh, wait, someone has a message. Let's see what they have to say. Oh, it's interesting right there. Very interesting. Very interesting comment there that was just made. Let's make sure that's on screen. Okay. Skyview, thank you. Just want to get that up there. I just found your comment interesting. Thank you, Skyview. Yeah, it's just, it's interesting. We're here because of them. I mean, look, Kelsey got shot because of them. This situation could have been de-escalated. God, I mean, what are we talking about? MLS making law simple. What's going on? How are you today? Good to see you. We're talking about the North Andover police right now. That's what we're talking about. Popcorn Store's got another sale. Thank you for that. Down to $9.26 right now. We drove it down to the $5,000 mark today and still going. Yeah, and again, that's, to your point, Leslie, escalation. That's escalation. That's going to make Kelsey more reactive. Exactly, Scott. Why did they not? Why did they not? Thank you so much, Sui Generous. It's just I don't know. It's they I mean, let's put it this way, regardless of what, and I said this before, I'll say it again, whatever happened between Justin and Kelsey is sad to see. Look, it's sad to see a relationship end, especially when there's two parents of a child. It's sad to see that. Nobody really ever wants to see that. My hope for every parent in this world is that they're at least on good terms with their mother or father of their child. Obviously that's not the way life works out. We get it. But you hate to see a situation like this just get so far off the rails. And that's really where I say, hey, someone had brought this case to my attention back in September. Where someone had brought this case to my attention and then told me I needed to start working on it and told me I needed to start doing fundraisers. So I've been doing it for someone I'm close with and, doing that, basically they brought this story to my attention, knew it was something I would be into and, recommended, hey, you should do fundraisers. So, I started doing it, after that conversation. So that's what someone brought it to my attention. So, I wanted to, once I heard about it, I'm like, there goes that anger in me, like that same kind of, I want to get out there and say some things about this. And then as I started following it, Kelsey had got placed back in jail 3 days later. I started following it the day she got released. And then it went, off the rails when she got sent back to jail. So that's right. So same time for me. Yeah, same time for me as well. We just 3 days before, but then I was absolutely animated about covering this case after they sent her to jail. That's when I said, okay. That's when I got a little bit, quite a bit into this, to say the least. Let me just take a look at something. A quick little break here. I just got to take a NCAA basketball break here. I just want to see what's going on with the scores here. Please stand by. All right, let's see what we got. Okay. Okay. All right, Michigan won. Michigan beat St. Louis 95-72. All right, good. Well, that's good to hear. Connecticut won last night too. Again, it was good. Common sense investigators here. I had UConn women are playing soon. UConn men, yeah, they won by 11. I went to bed before the game ended. Yeah, I went to bed like the game 10 minutes before the game ended. It was they were up 10 anyways. They ended up winning by 11. So the game didn't start, Lauren, until actually after the show was over, which was great. It was supposed to start at 9:45, and I think I left your show at 10 o'clock, 10:05. And then when I went to go watch it, it hadn't started yet. So I was like, okay, well, there we go. I'm like, that was great. It kind of all worked out natural. Then I got so tired, I'm like, I'm going to bed. They're going to win. I know they're going to win. So, all right. Well, let's take a look at some of these audios here. All right, let's play some audio of some of the calls. That. Oh, that's all you do. Share the screen. That's right. Share this tab instead. Okay, here.
No, Phantom, please, if I've been recorded.
Hi, I'm looking to speak with Lieutenant Whitaker.
He is actually tied up at the moment. Can I ask your name?
I had actually just spoken with him. This is Justin Alayan. I had just got off a phone call with him.
Hold on 1 second here.
Okay.
Is the audio good for you guys? Is that audio good? Okay. All right, forget that one. Let's try this one instead. North Andover Police, I can help you. How are you?
Police and fire calls being recorded.
Hey, this is Justin again. I'm just calling Lieutenant Whitaker back. I just missed his call, unfortunately.
Yeah, Justin, it's me.
Oh, okay. How you doing, sir? I had a couple quick questions for you again.
Yeah.
So she's messaging me telling me that she's planning on taking the baby up to the land in New Hampshire. Do I have any rights to make sure that she does not leave with that child?
Right then and there is like, I don't know. I don't know. Jeez.
At this point, I don't think we do. I've spoken to my superior.
Yeah.
Filled him in on everything that we talked about, and we don't really have the right to deny her child.
Do I have any rights as the father to obtain my child since she's had him for several nights now? Do I have any right to, hey, this is the custody, we're both parents here. It's almost my turn to have the kid for the night, so I can know that he's safe and I can go file these after?
Through the police department, no, we don't have that ability. The only way that you would be able to do that if you spoke directly to her and said, you know, I'd like some time with the baby. And if she agrees to that, great. But it sounds like she's
not
probably not going to be. Yeah.
I have my sister who's
Hey
had a
there.
quick question for you as well.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of this, and so I'm on the page of we need to get the baby out of her hands like now, or something really bad could happen. And I know you guys have talked a bit about this, but I am just wondering, is there any difference if she were to try to take the baby out of the state? Does that go against anything? Because that's what she's threatening with. Does the state matter at all? The state lines?
It really doesn't. It's her child.
It doesn't.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the United States of America. So when you go from like Massachusetts, New Hampshire to Maine, or Maine back to Massachusetts, or Maine back to Rhode Island, or Maine to Connecticut, or Connecticut to New York, or New York to Pennsylvania, right? That's all in the United States of America. There's no like, you don't need like I can't even think of the name of it right now. You don't need a visa. You don't need to like, there's nobody at the New Hampshire line that's like, Massachusetts resident coming up to New Hampshire today. See, yeah, we got a lot of Massachusetts people in New Hampshire. And, we're just gonna see your ID here, and looks like you got your visa there. Okay, well, it's your passport. That's what it is. Yeah, you got your passport there, and looks like it's valid. How long are you planning to stay up here in the great state of New Hampshire, the live free or die state? About 2 days. Oh, that's good. Well, it's good. Crossing state lines. You need an interstate travel visa to come up to New Hampshire. Yes. So, what do you plan on doing here? Why do you want to visit the state? Well, why don't you go to Maine? They got lobster. Well, I do see. Yeah, so it's just, I mean, you can cross into any state in this country that you would like. It's not like she's going to. We have a person from Ontario, Canada watching. So it's not like she's going to Ontario, Canada. It's not like she's going down to Mexico. It's the only time it can be tough. There's one time a year where it's tough to get from New Hampshire back to Massachusetts. That's when fireworks are being sold. Like, you never want to buy fireworks in New Hampshire like the week before the 4th of July. In fact, you probably want to do it like now, in March. Not that I'm recommending anybody actually do that. Yeah, I don't know that I buy fireworks. I've never used them. I don't feel like being like Justin Pierre-Paul, who blew up his own fingers from the New York Giants. But yeah, there's no, when you travel back from New Hampshire during the 4th of July, the cops, Massachusetts State Police are all over the place. And they're like, trying to smuggle fireworks back into Massachusetts. from New Hampshire. I see. But no, it's just you can go to any state. I just want everyone to know you can go to any state in this country whenever you want. You don't need a passport or anything. Okay, just want to make sure that's clear. Thank you.
Another question for you, because I think, we're talking about going to the courthouse. How do we, and especially because she is a police officer in this town and everyone talks, and I'm just wondering if we go file this, how do we, because if she finds out that this is filed before it's being addressed, it's going to end really horribly. So how do we actually ensure, and I guess, do you know anything about that process? Would a police officer come with us or with Justin to the house to get the baby? If this is assuming the custody was ordered, that the restraining order and the custody.
What's interesting is Kelsey has been out of jail since Christmas, and there's been no reports whatsoever from her ever in the past several months ever acting out violently to anybody. I'm just guessing that maybe she wasn't acting out violently to anybody else before that either. Just my guess.
Were ordered. What does that look like? Because we're very worried she'd find out before it could actually take place.
Yeah. So if that's the case, then the way, if an order is granted, they will then email a copy of the order to us for service. So we would serve it and then enforce it. So it would be like, here's your restraining order. Per the order, custody of the child is awarded to Justin, in which case we would have to make arrangements, for him to come take the child.
Okay, so he would not be there when you're presenting that. I mean, this might be an obvious question, I guess.
Well, you'd be shocked. The North Andover Police would actually be more than obliged to have him on site to escalate the situation. Because the North Andover Police Department just, I guess they do things how they do things.
He has the restraining order. He shouldn't be there.
Probably not. Guys... I mean, we should probably take care of that. It's okay if he wants to be close by, in order to take custody of the child quick.
Well, do you think you should be inside the house though? Because that's what you guys allowed.
Yeah, right.
He could come if he's in town. We could then reach out to him and say, okay, she's been served. You can come pick up the child now.
Now, if the father of if the baby is being taken, and I have not listened to all this audio unedited. I've only watched pieces of it and shows. I'm trying to catch up. If the mother of the child loses custody of the baby, and the father of the child is not present, and that baby is now in possession of the police department, why not have DCF present to ensure the transfer of that child? Oh, definitely vote Adam Deach for Norfolk County, no question.
Okay. One, just to, I guess, make sure that, because I know you guys will get notified if there is an emergency order put through. She's an officer, of course. What does she have access to see? I'm just is there a way to flag this directly to the trusted?
No. When it gets sent, it gets Caesar in charge and anyone else who has access to that email. Which she doesn't.
Which and she could find out before this happened.
Did she catch wind while she was at the police station of anything occurring?
You guys seem awfully worried about what Kelsey thinks. Awfully worried about what Kelsey thinks. These questions are just wow.
Nope.
No, okay.
Nope. I didn't want to tip her off and
yes. We want this to be very ironclad and secret. Yes. Jesus Christ.
Give her the opportunity to do anything rash.
Forgive me, Lord.
Thank you. All right, officer. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Wow. All right. So that was from June 30th. That was at 2:04 and 2:10. Now, the rest of these calls I got, here's one from the 2nd of July. All right, so we'll play that. This is the North Andover Police Department. We operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. How are you? How can I help you out, man?
Northern Police and Fire, this call is quartered.
Hi, this is Justin Land.
I'm on the North End Fire Department. I am off duty right now. I do need to speak with the OIC.
Yes, sir. Hold on one second, please.
Digress. I do care.
No,
Justin,
yes, this.
question, but I digress. I do care.
No, I'm doing as well.
Thinking
as I
about
can be
you
right
guys.
now, and
Yeah. So what can I do for you,
Katie's
Justin?
good.
What's that?
I need to discuss my options of retrieving all of my belongings from Phillips Brooks.
Oh, gotcha. I gotcha. Well, it's your house, so you know.
You don't you know you could just go right on in? Don't you know? Just go right on in. Just smash that door down if you need to, but just go right on in. Go on in that house. Well, don't you know? Don't you know? Go right. Oh, hope you're doing good today, Justin. Don't you know?
I'm assuming that you can make whatever arrangements if you just want us to because let's just say if this were a scenario we deal with in any other case, with restraining orders, there's nothing barring you from returning to your own property except for your own safety. So I can't, we don't have any jurisdiction, and we don't even navigate about mutual property. So when we get restraining orders.
So like if I stayed over if he stayed over his fiance's house for a couple of days, but never actually lived there, was never actually on the deed or whatever, but he just stayed there every so often. You just mean to tell me you could just walk right up to the door and just like get in by any means necessary? Never heard of that before.
People have to, commonly the defendant would ask to, it's different in this case because you may be in stow, from what I understand. But any property that's in there is between you, Kelsey, and civil courts. It doesn't have anything to do with us. We have no jurisdiction to say what can't be removed, what can be removed.
Why not just call her father? But obviously that's not a move he wants to make right now because this is days after the fact of that incident.
So am I able to go to the house with a bunch of fire buddies and remove my belongings?
Yes. We have no jurisdiction on that. I don't, are you in communication with her family and things? Like how?
No.
Even Katie said that. Even Katie just said what I said. Even she just said what I said. I thought about that when I'm like, obviously if he tried to call that family, they would have been like, he knows he can't call them because they know wrath the hell is coming on that call. It's just obviously he knows that's a hot situation. His only option is to call the police to see if he can gain access to the house.
I am in no communication with her family whatsoever.
Yeah. Do you know if they're at the house at all? That would be my only thing.
What doesn't make sense to me is if come on, don't lose this thought. Oh, here we go. Here we go. If he was going to have an RO served on Kelsey, and that was served on June 30th, and he had already stopped by that house, I think that day or the day before, whatever it was, to pick up a lot of his belongings. And he had already called the police department on June 30th saying he wanted to make sure she didn't know about all this stuff. Then why didn't he make sure all of his belongings were out of there prior to that RO being served? See, because I don't think he can anticipate, at least I don't think, that incident was going to go down the way it went and that Kelsey was going to be, because see, whether or not Kelsey met the set of circumstances that she had in reality, or alternatively, they had a peaceful transfer of the child without the officer shooting Kelsey, then Kelsey would still at this time be living in that house and his stuff would still be in that house. So whether or not whatever happened to Kelsey is regardless of the fact that his stuff was still in that house after the RO was served, regardless of what happened when the RO was served. So if she had still been living in that house, then he would still have his stuff there. And he would have to have somebody go by or something. So it's why didn't he think to get all of his stuff out of that house before that RO was served? So he wouldn't have to try to gain access to that house after that RO was served. Logistically, that don't make sense. Yeah, I guess you're right. No, maybe I'm not thinking about that. No, I think you're right. No, maybe I'm just not thinking. Yeah. Maybe I've lost my, that's right. Maybe I've lost my focus on that. No, you're right. Yeah. Damn it all. I forget all of it. It's just out of sight, out of mind. Sorry about that. Damn, I always forget about that stuff. Sorry, he still had the keys. No, that's a good thing. I mean, he had the keys. I mean, it's a good thing to prove that. No, never mind. It's a good thing they changed the lock, I meant. But yeah. No, that's a good point. Yeah, I forgot about that because he wanted to gain access to the laptop and do what he did with it. Yeah. I must have lost my head on that. Sorry about that, guys. It happens from time to time. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's I was just thinking though, if there was anything that was still his possession, but obviously he goes right in that house and he had things in mind about what he wanted to do. Right, and that stuff, majority, I don't know of the stuff that he took, was all of it 100% hers or 90%? Right, because he needed her stuff. I went totally blank on that. Sorry about that, guys. Jeez, happens from time to time. I'm getting tired. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, that's right, because he wanted to gain access to all that stuff, log in, the bracelet login on the Wi-Fi, switch out a bunch of those things. Yeah, exactly. All the AOL logins, the Facebook logins, all that stuff, 100%. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. The thing, you took the letter off the fridge. Yeah, now I got my mind. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. I was just thinking about more from like the honest perspective. Yeah, way off my game there. Sorry, guys.
If you wanted to go, if you feel like they're there, and I mean, it's your house, so truly.
Yeah. But okay, now I know what I'm thinking. Why doesn't the cop? It's just amazing. None of the cops call him on that and just say, "Hey, look, why didn't you retrieve all your stuff out of the house before the RO was served?" That's the contradiction. See that? Okay, I think we got something now. I think I got something now. Okay, now I've come around to full thinking. Anyone, maybe this might even be good in court to use. If he had been in that house days prior to take all his things, and then he was going to have an RO served, then nothing of his possessions should be in the house at the time of this call on July 2nd. Nothing of his possessions should be in the house at that point, which basically brings more validity to what everyone's been saying, and I thought, but my mind went blank on, sorry, is the fact that if the defense is saying, well, he went back in that house on the 3rd, and he'd already got back all his stuff before the incident on June 30th happened, then it only proves to us as a defense team that there was foul play here. There was some kind of a motive here, which only bears more water in the argument of him breaching the laptop, him doing this, him doing that. Gotcha. Okay, that's what I think. So I think this call actually makes him look even worse because, again, why wouldn't you have already retrieved all your stuff? And if you hadn't retrieved all your stuff, there must be a motive to go there, which must bring validity to the argument that Kelsey and her defense team are making about the motive of why he went in that house, and to the point that he had accessed all her stuff like that. My brain came back. Thank you, guys. I must have hit a lull there. Okay, perfect.
You can go in there anytime you please, and let's just say hypothetically they were there and they get all bent out of shape about that. What you could do is just call us for us to explain that to them.
So my only concern would be I know they're blaming me for a lot of this situation.
Yeah, I get it.
They
Yep.
are there
Yep.
for the potential retaliation or any of the sort.
Yeah. So
Um,
you can play it however you want it to play it. I'm going to leave that up to you. One option would be to shoot them a text or anything, like, just so you know I'm going back to the house to pick up some belongings.
they would
Say no, absolutely not.
I'm pretty sure they would show up.
Yeah. Okay. So what you may want to do is just go do what you got to do. I can't keep you from there, nor would I want to. It's your house as well. It's your property.
So it's technically the deed is in her name.
Sure. Sure. But you're like
obviously a resident of that house.
Yes, you have legal standing in there as far as the civil courts are concerned. You have keys, you have access. I know you live there. We know you live there. We're not going to stand in your way from collecting your property. If you go and do your thing, and just, if you get there and someone's there, we can, before you even go into the house, you could call us and, meet us over at the school parking lot area and be like, they're there right now. Can you send someone by to keep the peace? And we'd be happy to do that for you. We do that all the time. Especially if the roles are reversed. If you had been asked to leave the house, we do this all the time where, the person who has resided there has a legal right to grab things.
Yeah, I'm just going to get as many friends as I can and get out of there as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah, so if you...
As many things as you can, as many of your things, or as many things in general?
End up being there, and either, if they're there already, my suggestion would be to kind of head over to the parking lot of the school, and we can break the ice, keep the peace, be like, hey, Justin has every right to grab his things, and you should cooperate with this, because it's just, why create more issues? I mean, it's not you live there too, with your baby and yourself for quite a bit of time, so we could break the ice first, if you'd rather just do it that way and hope that they're not there. And then if they show up while you're there, just try to keep cool heads and just call us, and we'll send someone right over to keep the peace, just don't even mention anything, and just be like, the police will come down and we'll sort this out. I'm not trying to create any, more difficulties for any of us, and let's just call the police. They'll come down and help us, no need to put heads.
Don't you know? Don't you know? I can help you, don't you know? You can call us, don't you know?
No, not, sometimes things get very emotional and difficult. So.
Sounds like that baby needs its mom.
Oh, but, we can diffuse it a little bit if we just say, hey, just let's all hang out for a minute and we'll call the police to help us, tell us. And that's what we would say. And what we'd say to the family is, you know what, we're just trying to, he has a legal right to grab what he wants out of the house. He resided here. The son's in his custody, so you got to grab the baby's things, I'm sure.
Yeah, she makes it seem all nice, doesn't she?
So, and if there is down the road, like any dispute on property, what we would tell her, like if she says, oh, my 50-inch TV's gone, he took it, we would just tell her that she'd have to take it up with probate court.
So basically, you're giving him full reign to go in the house and just take whatever he wants. It's up to him. It's his discretion. If she ever came back contesting and things of her own were taken, then like maybe like a laptop, that's we're just gonna have to fight it out through the system. Oh boy.
Okay. Yeah. No, I just want my tools, my clothes.
Right.
I don't have any of my stuff, so.
Yeah. What else do you actually know? Well, just for the record, what else do you plan on taking?
Yeah, you have your weapons. I think you have. Guns,
I do.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, you have all those.
I removed them all from the house the night prior.
Yeah. So that any property, we would just take a report from her and say talk to the courts, because that's not our purview.
Okay, understood.
So if you're not going to give them if you're not going to give them a heads up, which is your right to, it's not my business to tell you what to do. That's not our jurisdiction because you don't have an order out against you, and you have legal standing in that house. Just call us if you happen to see their car there.
Yep.
And we'll meet you before and break the ice with them prior, and then we'll go from there. And if
Okay,
they show
sounds
up,
good.
just call us. Just say, hey, I'm trying to get some property. Can you just send someone to keep the peace?
So even though I have a temporary restraining order right now, I am still allowed to go to that house?
Yeah, the restraining order is on her. Yeah, it's not keeping
It's
you
on
from
her,
going
okay.
back. Yeah. hmm
Okay, understood. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate it.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
You
care.
got it, Justin. Call back if you need any help, okay? And
Okay, will
I
do.
do
Thank
feel
you.
for you. And, I know this is terrible, but I'm a lot of us support you, and, we're all, it's terrible what you're going through.
Yeah,
So.
no, it's
Nightmare. And, well, I
Everything
support you,
yeah.
and you're so kind to everybody. So anything you need, let me know, okay?
Okay, thank you so much for your time. I really
You got
appreciate it.
Yep. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right.
Wow. Are you flipping kidding me? Wow. Oh my God. Wow. And that's a woman that was a fellow police officer with Kelsey Fitzsimmons making those kind of remarks. We sure feel for you, don't you know, what you're going through, don't you know? And just want to let you know, don't you know, we get your back, don't you know? Jesus. Oh my God. Wow. That was tough to listen to right there. Jeez. Oh my God. Some of the comments in the chat here. What he's, yes, poor him. Poor him. Poor him. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, so that's July 2nd. Now we got some stuff from the 3rd. Let's see, July 3rd, 7:30, 9:41, 9:38. Okay. So we'll do the June 30th. There's two, how many? 2, 3, 4, 5 from that. There's 5 from that date. Now let's start up at 7:34.
Please have I been recorded?
Hey, this is Justin Land, off-duty firefighter. Can I speak to your OIC?
Hold on, sir.
To the police officer there.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know what has happened. I don't know if there's there at 9:30 of what has happened in that call for a police officer today about what was with other members of the fire department.
Can I help you?
Hi, this is Justin Land. I'm going to 125 Phillips Brooks to retrieve all of my belongings today with other members of the fire department. I had spoken to Sergeant Gerke yesterday about what would happen if she said I had full authorization to retrieve all my belongings, and if her family shows up to call for a police officer. Given the intense nature of what has happened in that house and what her family has already been trying to do, I need to request a police officer is there at 9:30 when I show up.
Okay.
We're going to be there for 2 hours, and given the potential and the intense nature of what happened there, I don't know what has happened, and I don't know what they're going to do, and I'm going to have to request that a police officer is there.
Okay, yeah, we have, can you hold on 1 second?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any issue at all, we'll be there immediately. We're very limited. I'm told that the plan is if anybody does show up to give us a call, we'll be there immediately. We're very limited today on staff, but
I just can't believe that you can make a call to your local police station and a cop would actually admit to you that they're low on staff. Imagine being like a bank robber calling up a police station, just being like, hey, you guys low on staff today? Like, yeah, we're low on staff. Okay, great. You don't ever tell the public that you're low on staff. You never let the public know as a police department that you're ever low on staff, ever.
Any issue at all, we'll be there momentarily.
All right, I'm gonna have it noted that if something does happen, I requested 2 times for a police officer to be there from the beginning. I want that noted because I will escalate this further because this is not right from given the situation that occurred in that house and the potential for something else to happen. My family should have never been in that position in the first place. Now I'm requesting something that is shit that should be placed there, and you're telling me no several times. That right there is not right.
Justin, it's Katie. We spoke yesterday.
We
You
did
asked
speak yesterday.
Huh?
We did speak yesterday. Given the intense nature of this situation and what could occur, I'm gonna be there for 2 to 3 hours. I know what her father is capable of. I know what could happen.
But wouldn't you have gotten all your stuff out of your house days before? You had the RO served. Why would you need to go back? Why would you need to go back in the house? You would have already gotten it a couple of days before, right? I mean, before the RO was served. I mean, you're gonna have an RO served. It'd probably be best to have all your stuff out of the house, right? Why would you need to go back?
And
But you
media are there. I'm just
and
telling you.
I understand the stressful situation, but what we spoke to yesterday was that we weren't going to prevent you from going in the house, but if something happened, you could call us right away and we'd be there that was what we spoke.
Okay, no, we did speak about that, and after thinking about it again, I wanted to make my concerns noted 2 times. So if something does happen, if something does occur, this will be noted, and I have no problem escalating it further. I appreciate your time. Thank you, and have a good day.
What time are you heading over there?
I will be there at 9:30 with 5 or 6 other men. It's going to be a couple hours.
All right. Well, that's there was no formal request at a certain time, Justin. I understand.
I understand that. I went through Crystal as well. I asked Crystal. Crystal said she would ask as well. That never coming back to me. It's a formal request. I called yesterday. You gave me this information. I'm calling again this morning, and I'm telling you that. You guys do last minute details every single day. This is a last minute detail. Yesterday would have been a detail that was not last minute.
Would you like a detail?
I am not paying for a detail.
Okay. All right,
my family should have never been in that situation. My child and myself should have never happened. I will absolutely escalate whatever I have to do. If I'm saying that I don't feel comfortable and I don't want to put my brother again, my friends into a situation where something could occur, or if you knew what happened, I don't know what her family would be capable of at this point. They've already filed negligence against me as the father when there has been nothing. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they would be capable of. But if you want to wait and find out, that is on you. And I am glad this is a recorded line.
Okay.
So I will be there at 9:30. If you do not have someone there, all of my...
So Kelsey's a violent threat. Her family is a violent threat. Everybody is a violent threat. Gotcha. So if you're this scared of his family, then you're probably more scared. I mean, if Kelsey gets a little angry, does that scare you? Like, is a woman getting a little angry with you or yelling at you scare you? Those are the questions I wonder. If I'm asking here, if I'm the defense team, I'm going to ask, are you usually shook up by certain things? Do certain things shake you? Do you get, when something happens, do you tend to often call the cops? Do you get shaken in? I mean, those are probably questions the defense could ask at some point in the future. Do you usually get shaken up? I mean, did you think that, Kelsey's family was going to be rolling deep, that day? It's just, he sounds afraid. He sounds very afraid, and those are questions I would ask if I was a defense attorney. Like, are you typically just afraid? Are you afraid of your own shadow? Are you typically paranoid? Because you're claiming that Kelsey's a violent threat, and do you think her family's a violent threat? Is Kelsey's family have a history of violence? I don't know, but he seems very afraid. And those are questions I'd probably say the defense would want to ask at some point as well. Why the fear? Yeah, it's just crazy.
Concerns have been noted. Thank you for your time and goodbye. So I will be there at 9:30. If you do not have someone there, all of my concerns have been noted. Thank you for your time and goodbye.
Jeez. All right, so we got 4 more to play. Let's see, that was 7:34. We got, what do we got here for times? 9:38, 9:41, 9:40, and 9:41. All right, let's play this one here, 9:38.
North Andover Police and Fire, this line's recorded.
This is Justin Owen. I need to speak to the OIC.
I'm sorry, who is this? Oh, who is this? Hello?
Try the next one here. All right, the next call there is just nothing. They say the call is being recorded. Let me try one of these next two. Okay, this is 9:41 number 1, 9:42 number 2. Okay. Now, here we go. All right, we're back.
My fucking Chevy. No.
North Andover Police and Fire, lines recorded.
This is Justin again. Can you please bring the OIC?
Yes, sir. Just give me a moment, please.
All right, so that call ends. All right, now we're on the final one here.
Good morning. This is Lieutenant Whitaker.
Lieutenant Whitaker, this is Justin Elaine. I'm at 125 Phillips Brooks right now, retrieving my belongings.
Okay. Hello? Hello, Justin? Justin, are you still there? Hello, Justin?
What is with these phones?
Say that again, sir.
Justin, are you still there?
I'm still there. It connected to my truck for some reason.
Oh, I thought it was my phone was messing up or something.
Sounds like it's the Bluetooth. The Bluetooth will connect once he must have turned his truck on and he couldn't connect it or turned the truck off.
Yeah, so you said that you were over on Phillips Brooks gathering some belongings?
Yep. Grabbed my belongings. The alarm did go off. They had changed the locks. The alarm did go off. Her dad has he set the full system up. He has everything. He's going to know the alarms went off, and I have no doubt in my mind he's going to be driving down from New Hampshire to show up here.
Okay. Whereabouts from New Hampshire would he be coming from?
He's up in the not the Rochester. I forget exactly what town he's in. He's probably about 40 minutes away, 30 minutes away. I don't know if he's coming, but I have no doubt in my mind that man is going to come down with a vengeance.
Okay. I mean, do you think that
I called 2 times. My family should have never been in this position. I called 2 times, once yesterday, once today, and I'm asking for a detail down here for 2 hours. If that's something that you guys cannot do, I will gladly escalate the situation. This is ridiculous.
What do you mean by escalate?
Yeah, that's my question too. Who would this be escalated to? Who would this be escalated to? Like who? Like it's a town matter, right? It's residents in town. You're calling the town police, and he's saying he's going to escalate the matter. Props to Kelsey's dad for reinstalling a new security system and changing the locks, though. That's interesting. Why did they need to be there for 2 hours? How much stuff did he have in there that was going to be a 2-hour operation? Those are questions I have from a defense attorney.
At the situation.
I will go to the media. I will do whatever I have to do to ensure my family's safety, my brother's safety here, and 2 firefighters that are here. If his family comes down, they are absolutely going to be doing something.
Okay.
And if you're saying there's no resources for this, it's insane.
If you need a detail, I can put a detail out.
I will not be paying for a detail given the circumstances of this. You can bring this to the chief. Please bring it to someone because I am not paying a cent for this. This is ridiculous. Given the circumstances and the escalation of this situation, you not
providing a detail and having it be your guys' idea is unbelievable.
We can provide a detail, but you're going to be charged for it.
I will not be charged for that. You know what? I am glad this is the third time this is happening, because when something does happen at this location, it is going to be all on that department. Once again, this is unbelievable.
Justin, when he
So do you agree? Would he be agreeing? So would he be agreeing that Kelsey shouldn't have been shot? You know, I wasn't a fan of the way the North Andover Police Department handled that situation, but it just seems to me like, you know, the attitude that I have and what was evidenced by what they noted on Kelsey's laptop, but there was obviously some reasons why he needed to be there for a long time. You know, as opposed to just walking in and grabbing a few things and leaving. You know, it's just,
gets there, just call us and we'll send an officer over there to keep the peace.
That's not how it's going to go down, but thank you for your time.
well, that's that. That's that with the audio. Jesus. It's just wild. I mean, like he's, you know, just all these circumstances. I've heard of that audio only in parts, but I haven't heard it all the way through. But it's just the behavior towards that police department, you know, is very notable to sit there and listen to. You know, the level of entitlement. You know, these officers were straight up like, you know, we only give a police detail based on this set of circumstances, and he didn't like that very much. But it's just, you know, based on what the defense team has shown in terms of what went on that laptop, the fact that laptop, I mean, well, here's the thing. That laptop, to the best of my knowledge, was returned, right? When did he return it? How did he return it? How did, you know, he was seen taking things out of the house. When did he come back and return that stuff? Did he call the police to let them know the second time? Or did he just say, well, I didn't like my interaction with the cops last time. They've already said I have a green light to go in the house, so I'm just going to do it again. I don't know. But that's interesting stuff. It's just, I got no words. I really have no words. It's just given what the defense ended up saying he did. You know, they called it an alleged break-in. They said he breached her laptop, all that. So it's, you know, it's going to be very interesting to see how the trial plays out, obviously, but also probate court. I only imagine, you know, Justin's name's going to come up only so many times in trial compared to probate court, where it's going to be mentioned very frequently. Sorry, guys. Ugh. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Let's take a look at the popcorn store, see how that's going. There, let's do a refresh. Down to $781 needed to hit the goal of the new goal, the second goal. So there was a $5,000 goal. We hit the $5,000 goal today, early on this show, and we're at sorry, went off screen. $781 to go, to say the least. So it's not bad at all. We're doing great. We're going for a $1,500 add-on here, and once we hit 5,000, we've also dropped that down even more. So yeah, it's yeah, I just don't like the behavior. Again, it's stuff that doesn't make him look good. And the same thing with the text messages. It didn't make him look good. It made Kelsey look good. It made Kelsey look like she cared more about the baby than him. She questioned his fatherhood. She questioned his dedication, all of that. So definitely was extremely notable, to say the least. So, all right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be live again Monday night. I will be doing the probably some kind of level of review of what goes on Monday. And then I'll also be doing the Canton Select Board Monday night as well. Audrey's expected to be there with people backing her up. So looking forward to that. I'm going to go have lunch here. Had a late breakfast this morning. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But other than that, Have a good week. Drive safely, everybody, this week. If you're flying out, be safe. Take your time. Don't rush. You'll get there. And you should be good to go. So, guys, thank you so much. Please be sure to like this video. Like the video. Subscribe to this channel. And have a great day, guys. I'll be back at some point. Maybe even tomorrow. Maybe I'll be on somebody's show tomorrow. I don't know. We will see, guys. Have a good night from MazzaMedia. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.